Am I here? Hello? 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 Oh, what's happening? I'm back. I am a non-political streamer. I'm non-political. I'm an apolitical streamer. Apolitical streams. I'm so apolitical. Yo, I'm so apolitical. Whoa. Yeah, I'm an apolitical streamer. I'm just kidding. Fuck you. Globalize the Intifada. Globalize the Intifada. Free Palestine. Abortion is a human right. Healthcare is a human right and should be available for everybody. We deserve universal basic income. The United States government is actively being overtaken by Nazis. Ah, take that. I'm not apolitical at all. I'm a filthy leftist. What's up? Okay, so the comic, right. Alright, so here's the thing. How it works is, me and my friend Scott made this, so it's both of us, right? Both of us came up with this story. And it's called Time Rider. And spill space is what it's called, not slip space, spill space. Spill space is an abundance of space and time outside of regular space and time. It is a place where reality has spilled out of itself, like water out of a cup. And because of that, it is very wibbly-wobbly, and it lets people move faster than light by going through spill gates, which are places where you just travel through spill space, right? Think of it like a big constructed wormhole. And what it looks like is like, you know when it's water circling down a drain and you see that whirlpool? Spill gates look like that put you out somewhere else, all right? And a spill sword is taking spill space, bottling it as a liquid, and letting it take the crystallized form of an absence of material space as a sword. So a spill sword looks like what would happen if you suddenly spilled water and then it immediately turned into ice. So it's very crystalline, but it can cut through anything because it is actually concentrated absence of space. So that's a spill blade. That was our legally distinct lightsaber. And I want to put that in something in Legacy really bad, because we haven't been able to do Time Rider, because I only have so many hands, and I'm exhausted all the time, and I can't make every comic book I want to make. So I really want to do that with them. I really want to make Time Rider, or put Spill Gates and Spill Space into Legacy somehow. Which would make sense. Oh, Time Rider's a really cool story. Time Rider was one of the characters that, that was put into the universe that me and my friends made for a comic book thing, for Occult Comics. And we didn't ever get to sit down and do any of it because I'm the only artist that would be working on it, and Scott and I would be the only writers on it, which makes it very difficult to make things when there are only two people who have to pay money for rent and bills. You could do an expanded universe kind of thing. Well, actually, so the world that all of those comic books with Nova Chaser, Time Rider, Impossible Investigations, which was a detective story about a guy who was conditionally immortal. Basically, as long as he put himself in harm's way, he was indestructible. All those stories took place on Earth before it became Amplexus. And so, like, it was a prequel universe. Oh, this is pretty cool. You have to use a ranged attack to throw this. There it goes. Separating things rather than cutting them, like if someone opened a portal sideways in the middle of someone. Yeah, pretty much. It's more abstract and weird. Spill space is really difficult to deal with because it is a very it's a very destructive and reckless, like, force of nature. And the villains were capitalizing off of it by controlling spill gates. If you control the spill gate, you can control where people go. You know, control the spice, control the universe, all that stuff. I really like that mechanic a lot. this thing where you have to throw stuff in order to get it to go places. I like that a lot. It's very satisfying. So far, Soulframe is getting a big recommend from me. The Impossible Investigations was one of my things where it was just like that and Nova Chaser were two stories that are very much me stories. Neither a compliment nor an insult when I say that, but The Impossible Investigations is about a detective who has a failing practice. He decided to go private, and he decided to try to solve crimes around the city. It did not work out well. He failed entirely, and he decided he was going to take his own life. So he put his snub-nosed revolver into his mouth, pulled the trigger, and then spat out the bullet because it just dented like a tin can against the roof of his mouth. It bounced off. It didn't hurt him at all. It was a dead stop. And he finds out, basically, that if he ever tries to hurt himself in any way, he can't. His body won't let him. He is immortal and invincible if he tries to hurt himself in any way. So if he puts himself into a dangerous scenario where he is responsible for any harm that happens to his body, he is fundamentally immortal now. He can't be hurt. Granted, the people around him can still be hurt, but that's how his invincibility works. And Nova Chaser is a being from the end of time, who came back into the present to handle to stop this fascist Superman, basically. Don't worry about it. It's not an evil Superman variant. It's a different kind of thing. He is a being from the end of time, very much kind of like the Silver Surfer in personality. And because he is outside of this era's, like, mode of existence, his body takes the shape of what is most approximated to it, what its most approximate shape at the time could be. Which is a weird Jack Kirby-looking Monster Man. And his job is to stop Ubermensch, which is a guy who stole an artifact from an ancient civilization and is now being turned into a superhuman by it, and he is basically just a Nazi. And the more he uses his power, the more it corrupts the source of that power, and the more he, like, gives into his darkest impulses, the more he feels willing to give into the power and use it more and more. He's basically perverting, like, natural superpowers for the sake of personal gain. Nova Chaser is more of the Superman character than the guy whose name means Superman. Speaking of comics, did you know Grant Morrison put out a comic called Filth a year or two ago? Picked up the trade paperback. Oh, what's it about? Anything they make, I love. I love Grant Morrison. They write incredible comics. Nova Chaser's abilities, by the way, they were inspired partially by the Martian Manhunter and by Wonder Man. So Nova Chaser can increase his size and density, so he can become like Ultraman-sized or become very small. He is extremely durable. Oh, one second, really quick. Hold on. How am I gonna? Do I just run and jump? You can shoot energy beams out of his hands. Superhuman strength, flight, durability, can phase through walls, and he can read minds. So that's all of Nova Chaser's powers. He's a being made out of pure energy. How you doing, Eric? How you be? And by being made out of pure energy, it allows him to do those kinds of things. Oh, shit! I'm doing good! We're playing some Soulframe! Fuck. I'm gonna tank some hits! Oh! Took your soul out! Oh! Hell yeah. I'm starting to get the hang of it. The game. I like this game a lot. It's very good. I'm also talking about some comics I never made. I don't have a key. I need a key. Yeah, I want to free them, but I don't have a key for it. I want to free Oregano's pups. How do I free Oregano's pups? Oh! This might actually be something. Did I get a key out of that? I hope I did. I got some life elixir. That's not bad. That's good. Maybe it's because there are still enemies around. It's probably because there are still enemies around. I'm trying to sense him, but I'm not seeing anything. It's gotta be because of enemies, right? Actually, could somebody look that up really quick? Orangol's pups in Soulframe? Could somebody tell me if I'm doing something wrong? Doing well, telling people stories about my time in the army, and the awful funny things I had seen and done with the, and the general insanity of the armed forces. I love those stories. If you ever want to tell some of them, let me know. I'm always down for them. You're more than welcome to share that stuff in chat. Medallion of Mora. I got a medallion, but... Where is this key? I want to free the wolves! Why can't I free the wolves? Damn it. You told me the CS gas story? I think you did. I think you did. I remember you telling us a CS gas story. Little wolves, I want to free you, but it's not letting me. It says I don't have a key. Alright, hold on, let me look this up. I'm not all army people, I have been told, is the every nickname has a story, and probably a stupid one. Yes, one of my favorite things that I've ever heard about army people, right, and I love you guys, right, is the crayon eating, and how there is a special brand of edible working crayons you can get to eat. You had a kid nicknamed Hulk Nuts. Please tell us that story. All right, Orangol's cubs. Summon spirit wolves to help you in combat. Fuck, that's rad. Marine Corps, not Army. But still, I say it. I stand by it. I stand by it. Alright, hold on. Let me see here. The Southern Circle features a fairly lengthy dungeon, which results in rescuing the first two of the 3 pups for the she-wolf snared in Soulframe. There's a chance towards the end of that if you die, you'll end up spawning back near where the pups are. Fantastic possibility. If it happened... okay, hold on. What's going on here? Until you hear the howl of Orangol. I heard that when this happens, you'll see a glowing pair of paw prints in the ground, and that did not trigger for me. Other players have seemingly had similar issues. Alright. Why can't I free them? Someone must help me! Why? Let me see if I can get some help from the community. Puppers. How can reading a comic get you thrown through a window? Carefully. At Fort, it's the middle of the summer. We are told that if we don't wash all our body in the field, at least use a wet wipe to clean your junk. First time we go out, we get covered in sand. Kid didn't have hadn't taken care of himself. Oh no. Outside the crate is supposed to grab a key, but bug out. Oh, I got you. There we go. Alright, so they're supposed to drop a key, but they didn't. That's fair. That's fair. Sometimes things happen. What can I say? Bum ba da bum bum ba da bum ba da bum bum ba da bum ba da bum 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 ba da bum ba da bum bum ba da bum ba da bum 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 ba da bum 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 ba da bum ba da bum 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 bum. I'm only level 2 so far, by the way. You don't level quickly in this, by any means. Like, your pact and your weapons upgrade way faster than you do. God, I need this thing to be like further along. Oh, right, I don't have the riposte right now. Hold on, I'm resetting this. I'm resetting this because I need the riposte. There we go. And we want this. And that. And this. Boom. There we go. Good. That's good. We're spreading it out more, but it's worth it. Also, you guys want to see the other arm? Because I do have another pact I can use. I've been using the Mora's Hand pact, which is the all the abilities that I've been having. But I can show you another one, which is the Tethrin. The Tethrin pact. Which has a very, very cool looking arm. Honestly, cooler than the Mora one, but the Mora one has cooler abilities. Called the medic, he saw what happened and went, holy Hulk nuts, what the fuck? That is incredible. So yeah, is the kid alright? So what is this? Got sand all on his junk, didn't clean himself well, got bad abrasions on his nuts, ended up getting a massive infection on his sack, came to me for medical advice, showed his balls inflamed and green from the infection. Oh dear lord. My god. I don't have the third ability unlocked on this one, so I'll have to, like, fight around to show you guys. Brillo pads. Sometimes you just gotta, you know, use your Brillo pads. Use a Brillo pad to heal yourself. Scrub the infection away. So this ability is the first frame that I got with this one. These things are much more plant-based. I don't know why I have vines growing on my shoulders, but I'm here for it. Too much of a coward to get shot at, but I didn't realize there was too much of a coward to shower in armed forces. Hey, you know what? Sometimes you just gotta bathe. And you gotta deal with what happens. I'll have to leave this area. I don't have a fast travel, I know that. I have a big head and an egg on my head. The egg on my head means that I'm very smart. That's why I have this egg on my head. It means that I am very smart, this egg on my head. Oh, and here are the abilities. So you have this, which staggers enemies for a moment and gives me defensive, like, armor, right? Which is pretty fucking cool. Then I got this, which powers up my sword for a while and does extra damage on attacks. It also inflicts a little bit of fire damage. Which is really fucking sick. Back to the front we go. Alright, we're gonna leave this area. I have not seen a frame ability in this that is bad, by the way. All of them have been cool. In fact, I've had complaints about Warframe in that it often feels too overpowered. It feels too, like, sort of just do whatever you want kind of feeling. This has more consequences in combat, it feels like. Like, I've died more here than I have in most Warframe things. And that is a good thing. I've been overpowered, I've been scared, I've been, you know, I've taken things on way above my pay grade. And that's a cool feeling. Kick! Yeah! Because oftentimes in Warframe, you get into fights and you often feel heavily heavily overpowered. You know, whole armies of enemies just get wiped out in front of you. Wolfgate. I'm assuming that's where I have to go next. Alright, it should have reset by now. So we can go back. I found Warframe to be mind-numbing. I couldn't enjoy it. Honestly, I understand. I can say that if you dislike Warframe, you will like Soulframe. Just outright. You will enjoy this. I also think that Warframe's a very good game. I would like if the combat resembled this more, though. I would like if the things I did mattered more in the immediate, you know? I want Warframe to be harder. And by that I mean, like, the gameplay loop to be slowed down and the enemies beefed up slightly. It was always cool as shit. I still couldn't enjoy the game. Oh yeah, no, Warframe's fucking, like, I would watch a Warframe anime in a heartbeat. I'm a massive Warframe fan. I've been playing that game for an extremely long time. But fuck me. This has been crazy good. Alright, leading me back in now? Alright. Here we go. Lead away, little bird. Bum-ba-da-bum, bum-ba-da-bum. Granted, I still love my Tenno with all my heart, and I'm a Ne Zha main till I die. This game slaps about as hard as a pennant crit. That's a massive compliment. And they also finally buffed my my favorite stance, because I'm a two-handed Nakana main. I use the pennant, like I said, and it is so satisfying. Rare Thundercats reference. Oh god, it was something called Necro or something. Oh, Necros, yes. Made it look like Mumra. Hell yeah. You're talking about Necros, if you mean Necro, and Mumra would probably be better with Inaros, who is the mummy frame. The mummy Warframe. Oh yeah, we're in here. We're in here. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, we're on this shit. Oh. Oh, what's this? Neat. Come on, boys. Yeah! I like my cool plant powers. I'm like if Poison Ivy, but sword. You like the radar mechanic? So do I! Damn it. There we go. There she is. Mama Wolf is here. Aha. Oh. I am going to grab my other big hand, though. I need my powerful arm for this. Swap. With Mora's hand. I do wish that it had more of a rags and bandages look to it, but I do like the hand. Had some tassy things hanging off that looks like Mama's bandages. Oh, you're talking about an Aros then. That's an Aros. Be concerned that one of the strongest, if not strongest, armed force in history is getting their balls bit by rando spiders. I mean, that's pretty standard for military. That's just how the military do. That's like 90% of the armed forces are the kind of people who would get their balls bitten off by a spider. Haha! Right, that's how you do that. Right. That's that move. That's the move. Soldiers drop do stupid things. It's a steep learning curve. I have many friends that have served in the military, and to them, I will always hear, it was Necros, I put the Tassi things on it. Oh, okay, I got you. I have always heard this from all of my military friends. If you are too dumb to join the military, you need your head examined. I remember Kyle Rittenhouse, that kid who, the murderer kid. The Marines told him he was not mentally fit to serve in the Marines. I told that to a Marine friend. Their immediate response was, that guy needs to have his head examined. He should not be allowed to take care of himself. If the Marines say, you are not bright enough to be in the Marine Corps, you probably need somebody to take direct care of you for the rest of your life. Straight up, every branch of the armed forces told that weird serial killer kid to go the fuck away. By the way, want to know? Okay, so this is something else for the military people in the audience. You want to know what Rittenhouse's audition for the military was? And I say audition. He would send in videos of him field dressing his service rifle. His words. That kid shot in self-defense? He did not. That kid did not shoot in self-defense. He sent videos of him, I believe field dressing is the term, right? Where you take it all apart and put it back together. That's field dressing a rifle, right? He was being chased? Nah. He was being chased because he was the aggressor. You don't cross 2 county borders with an AR-15 and wander into a riot with a gun, not expecting people to get mad at you. Field stripping, that's what it is. Field stripping his rifle. Ugh. We cannot train someone with an IQ less than 78, so if he failed to impress the Marines? Yep. Was he the dork who tipped over a curb and shot some people? No. Both those places were his home? No, they were not. He had family in both counties? No. He had, well, yeah, he did. He had cousins in one of the counties. But Kyle Rittenhouse traveled over counties armed with a gun in order to look for people to kill. That is what he did. Any sensible look at that will tell you exactly that. He did not go there because he wanted to defend the public. He went there because that motherfucker wanted to kill somebody. And he did. He killed 2 dudes who chased him down because they were terrified of the guy waving a gun around in the middle of nowhere. Or in the middle of the street. Plainclothes dude wandering around in the street. Yeah, they took the bravery option and decided, fuck it, we're gonna stop that guy. You don't chase someone down if you're scared of them. You do if you want to stop them. They chose the fight or flight spawn. They had fight or flight, and they chose fight. And Kyle, being there, armed with a gun, killed them. You have to disagree with me on this. If you put yourself in a scenario where you are the aggressor and you get attacked by somebody, it's not self-defense. Kyle Rittenhouse is a fucking murderer. He went there explicitly because he wanted to murder somebody, not because he wanted to protect anybody. He didn't want to do anything good. He is not a hero. He wasn't acting in self-defense.
A year in silver for you.
Yeah. I'll say, for 10 toes down, Kyle Rittenhouse is a murderer. The guy went out of his way to get into a situation where he would have to shoot at somebody because he wanted to shoot at somebody. And that's because he wanted to be in the military and he failed out. And he wanted to join the military because he wanted to shoot people. It wasn't in self-defense. It wasn't a good trial. The guy belongs in jail. Yep. One of the guys who were trying to play hero just happened to be a pedo. Yep. That's true. He wasn't a cop. He armed himself, got into trouble. That isn't self-defense. That's being a shithead. Yep. If you wander across 2 county lines with a gun, and you kill some people because you got scared of them after you showed up in their neighborhood with a gun, you are at fault. You are the one who did the thing. And I'll stand by that entirely. Ain't no way at all. This is not an art stream. Well, video games are art. Oh shit! Fuck. Yeah, because I relaunched the stream. I got it. Hold on. My bad. I'm fixing it. There we go. It was meant to be on Soulframe. How are you? I'm doing good. I'm alive. I'm living. My legs are still attached to my body. I burped. Oh, and by the way, how do I know that he wanted to murder somebody? And this is very important. Because after he had done so, you know, the murdering, instead of being panicked or, you know, freaking out or going to the cops in order to try to make sure that he was still safe, he stuck around the neighborhood for a bit, went to a bar, got drinks, and bragged to some friends. He turned himself into police? Not immediately. That motherfucker went to a bar. He bragged to people. That was evidence that was shown at his trial. Figured out how to weapon combine fishing move and chroma squad finally. Nice. Oh, thank you. How had he gotten drinks? He was 17. He went to a bar. I didn't say that he, like, you know, went drinking. He did go to a bar, though. That, and he was laughing about it. He bragged about it. He was all in on the murdering. He was proud of doing the murders. Okay, murder. Yeah, murder. Kyle Rittenhouse, the murderer who should be in jail. Only murderers go on Fox News to brag about their kills. Normal people are bothered by self-defense shootings. Yes. Sorry that he got drinks. Oh, yeah, he drank like a normal beverage, but he was hanging out with other people at a bar. They got drinks. They got drinks. But yeah, it's his fault. Like, dead serious, it is his fault. I have no sympathy for Kyle Rittenhouse at all. In fact, I am genuinely upset that he is not in prison right now. Where are we going, bird? Oh, there we go, we're going that way. He should be in prison. I do hope that at least that he's at least poor. Nope, he got super rich afterwards. He's gotten speaking engagements. He's become a figurehead for like talking about self-defense, even though he didn't follow any of the rules of self-defense at all. He did not follow any meaningful rules of engagement, and again, he put himself in the scenario where he wanted to shoot somebody. What's up? When he shot at someone who pointed a gun at him and he was on the ground, is he a murderer? Yes! Yes, he is! Because that wasn't both of the things. One of the dudes came at him with a skateboard, again, because he came into their neighborhood during a protest because he wanted to bring a gun to protect people's private property, which is insane. The cops already do that. They're already really bad at it. So he did act just like a cop. But, yeah, he put himself in a scenario where he was directly going to be exposed to extreme amounts of violence. Then, he killed some people because they were fucking scared of him. They were scared of him and pissed. Because some random dude showed up with a gun. There is no difference. It was his neighborhood too? No, it was not his neighborhood. He did not live there. It is not your neighborhood if you've got family living there and you don't live there. It's your neighborhood if you live there. He did not live there. He had no right whatsoever to go into that place to do that. A gun to a violent protest. Yes, he took a gun to a protest. And that is outright an escalation of force. So protection of personal property is not acceptable? It's not his fucking job. It's not what he's supposed to be doing. And I don't give a shit about personal property when it comes to these kinds of things. All of the damage to personal property bullshit was blown well out of proportion. And I'm pretty sure the bullet holes Kyle put inside of a couple of buildings didn't do the property any favors. You do not get to wander out into the middle of the world. Or wander out into the middle of an area where even if you have family there, and then, you know, fucking, like, get into a fight, travel there with a gun and shit, and feel like you're the one who's doing something right. You're not. Property is less than lives, yes. Property does not matter as much as lives do. And 2 people are dead, extrajudicially murdered by Kyle. Kyle killed them. And his presence at that protest was an invocation to violence. That's what it was. One of the first rules of self-defense is try not to find yourself in a situation in which you will have to draw your sidearm. You're not supposed to do that. You know, be in an area where you're going to shoot your gun. That's the first and best way of self-defense. And Kyle didn't need to go there. He wasn't. Did he get arrested? If not, it's because the court's considered it self-defense. Yeah, and I disagree with the court. The court was full of shit. The judge was a Trump supporter. Kyle levied himself as right-wing. So don't go out and help clean graffiti. That's not how that works. That's not what that means. Don't you put a false equivalence like that. Do not go out and bring a gun to a protest. That's the simple way to look at it. Don't bring a gun to a protest.
No mourning under a new moon. No.
He was not helping injured people. He was not. No, he was not. If he wanted to help the parts of violence before he arrived, no. That was incredibly blown out of proportion. And even then, not his fucking job. This is Soul Frame, the game. Kyle should not have used murderous violence. You use non-lethal response for self-defense. Kyle shouldn't have fucking been there. Son of Pack Hunt, daughter of the Dusk, or son of Dreamer's Moon. I'm taking you, orange one. Then what was the medical kit he was carrying for, and the photos and testimonies of him helping people? I'm assuming the medical kit was taken for direct response. So okay, I will steelman this. I will steelman this. Even if that's what he was doing, it does not excuse the fact that he picked up a fucking rifle and brought it to the fucking protest. It doesn't change anything. It doesn't change anything. It doesn't change anything if he's like, oh, well, I brought, like, you know, like I helped some people medically. So do paramedics. They're trained for that. The 17-year-old who shot 2 people is notably not a paramedic.
Who's a good girl?
If you're there to honestly help people, you're not bringing a weapon. Exactly. What I'm hearing is don't bring possible self-protection. What you should be hearing is don't insert yourself into a dangerous situation and, you know, go there looking for violence, because that's what he did. Yeah, he could have brought a taser, could have brought a handheld weapon. The reason he was attacked was because he had an AR-15, not because he was helping people. He was attacked because he brought a big-ass rifle. Let me ask you something. If you are in the middle of a music festival and a guy is walking around with water bottles, an AR-15, and a medical bag, what is more likely? That that dude in America is about to do a mass shooting, or that that dude is just there to help? Which one of those is more likely? That the guy is there to shoot someone, or that the guy's there to help? Wasn't one of the men he shot chasing him through the night, antagonizing him, saying, do something, shoot me? Yeah, because he was pissed off that a child with a gun showed up. It still doesn't make it right to shoot him. There's no defense you can use. Nothing about it is right. It is wrong what he did. So, like, let me put it this way. Under your idea, is it okay for somebody to show up to a protest armed with a service rifle and a medical bag to walk around and dish out vigilante justice based off of how they're feeling? Is that okay? Is that an alright thing to do? Is random vigilante justice bent on one person's idea of things okay in this scenario? Violent, death-serving justice? I'm just wandering around with my service rifle. I'm just wandering around with my automatic rifle. You know, just in case I'm here at this protest. Just in case it gets too violent, I can do what? Shoot a bunch of people to death? That's what your response is. You don't have something to de-escalate. You don't have something to make it better. Chased and provoked after a gun was pointed at him because he brought a fucking gun, you dense motherfucker! Think! Think! Think, Brody, think! He brought the fucking gun! He started it! That motherfucker started it! He started the confrontation! He did not need to be there. He did not need to go there. He didn't need to involve himself with these people at all. He didn't point first. He brought the fucking gun, forehead! He brought the goddamn gun! What do you think he brought it for? What was the point of bringing the gun? Because it sure as hell wasn't for self-defense, unless you define self-defense as murdering someone. That's what the self-defense would be. You know, doing a murder. Shooting someone to death with a gun. That's what that would be. And a random lone gunman wandering around a crowded space isn't something that people in America like seeing. Tell me, how many, okay, what about this? What if, I don't know, is it right to arrest a dude for wandering around a large music venue with a gun? Is that okay to, like, detain that guy? Well, no, he's just wandering around with a big-ass gun. How many mass shootings are there a year where a guy's just wandering around with a big-ass gun? How many incidents of mass violence are there a year where a guy's just got a big-ass gun? It is not okay for somebody to walk around with an AR-15 at a fucking Walmart. It is not safe. It is an escalation of force. It is a threat of lethal violence on a mass scale. These are the tools of war, not tools for defense. You do not have an AR because you want to defend yourself. You have an AR because you want to attack somebody. Or because you're in a situation where it is extremely fucking dangerous, like a war zone. A violent protest, not that violent, is not a war zone. And Kyle wasn't a soldier. He was a random civilian who took the law into his own hands and decided he was completely okay with murdering some people because he thought that the official people handling a scenario weren't valid enough to handle it. That is a dangerous line of thought. You want to know the first thing you do in a self-defense scenario? Like, legitimately, the first thing you do? You talk. That is the first thing you do. You talk. You don't even have your hands on your weapon. Your palms upwards, hands forwards, trying to talk your way out of it. You don't put your hand on your service weapon at all unless you are almost ready to use it. And even then, your goal should be to get your hand off the weapon. The best scenario in self-defense is that you never fire a single fucking shot. A lot of people would argue about how you're challenging Second Amendment rights, right to bear arms to defend the nation, but the AR, which is an offshoot of the M4 carbine, which is a military weapon, should not be allowed for use by civilians. I don't think we deserve the Second Amendment. I think that the Second Amendment is fucking dog water. The Second Amendment is bullshit. It is a bad amendment because it's not enforced in a good way. At all. You know what? Guns should be you should only be allowed to have a gun if you have a license for that gun. Full stop. And you should be able to get a license for a gun at a government-operated and taxpayer-funded shooting range where you put in range time, training on how to handle your firearm, rules of engagement, the damage that can be done with the firearm, everything that can be done with the firearm before you are allowed to privately own one. And I will die on this hill because it is objectively the best way to handle private citizens arming themselves. And if a person is not ready to go to those lengths to own a firearm, they are clearly not serious about owning a firearm. So I need to at least accept the hunters. Yeah, I'm fine with people owning guns. I just want to make sure that people who own guns aren't fucking idiots who have no idea how a gun actually works. I say if you own a gun, you should be able to strip the gun, you should be able to clean the gun, you should know what range it's deadly at, you should know which range it's less than lethal at, which does happen with guns. You should know the penetration capacity of your ammo, you should know about the rules of engagement when it comes to self-defense and with using a gun at all, you should know about every reason why you should never unholster your gun on every single scenario. You should know the history of that gun. Does this sound like a lot? Yeah, because a gun gives you the ability to murder someone. That's what it is. Yes, everyone in the MAGA camp should lose firearm rights. They're basically fucking Nazis. Kyle made social media posts bragging about going and hoping to shoot a protester in self-defense. But if you go there hoping with open intent to shoot another person, no action you take in self-defense is that point. Yes. The AR is not an offshoot of the M4, but the other way around. Oh, interesting. The AR platform was invented in 1959 and then copied to make the M16 platform in the 1970s. Small nitpick. It's interesting. What I want for guns in America, and I've come back to this over and over again, is the Department of Gun Management. I want the DGM, which would be a state-owned, a state-owned and state-funded shooting range where you, the citizen, go to be trained into having, into how to use a firearm, right? You should be able to use a firearm. You should also know for sure how a firearm is going to function. Kyle very much didn't know that. You're never aware of this? Okay, this is one of the reasons why I'm getting heated, because yeah, that's one of the things that's common knowledge, is that Kyle made social media posts bragging about going and hoping to shoot a protester in self-defense. He bragged about it. The dude, that's what he wanted to do. He wasn't there to help people. He was there because he wanted to play Call of Duty in real life. The guy's a monster. He's an asshole. He's a bad person. Still gonna call them idiots after all they allowed scammers to scam debt cards from everyone? Yes! The United States of America has a serious problem with firearms.
Have you shatters? Spot the ores. I'm sure to ruin them all.
What do I need for this? Scrap iron. God, that's a bitch and a half to find. What? Scrap steel? This one's easier to find. Patch leather and river pearl. Fuck me. God, these things are a bitch to find. Ugh. Scrap steel. Good. I'm also pointing out the victim. I was a victim of that. Recently got scammed at Whataburger in Tennessee. It happens. It sucks.
Found something, have you? I'll try not to see it ruined.
When it comes to this shit, though, I'm hardlined about this because look, like, the idea that the First Amendment, right, is this holy thing which lets every person get a gun, has led to America becoming one of the most dangerous places on earth. It is horrifying here. We are one of the only countries that have normalized mass shooting events to the point where we had to change the definition of what a mass shooting was in order to make sure people didn't over-report them. The Second Amendment, yeah. What did I say? I said Second Amendment. Didn't I? I said Second Amendment? My point stands. It's fucked. I said first? Oh, shit. Yeah. Second Amendment. Sorry, my bad. The Second Amendment has a corroding effect on people because they don't seem to understand the very basic principles about how it's supposed to work. Even down to the whole, like, you know, well-regulated militia thing. We also now have massive multi-million-dollar industry for ways to protect kids from mass shootings. Yep. I now have more map. That's how you unlock more map.
She grew ill of Midrath's chill. She willed Adele to sun.
To be fair, I see guns like having a ring of power. We humans are easily corrupted by having a firearm. I disagree. Because I don't think that power corrupts. I think power reveals. I think power will reveal who you are inside. It will show who you are, how you think, what you do. Whatever you wanted to do beforehand is what you're going to do if you have power. And when you see people wander around with large amounts of power, what they're doing is not, you know, something that the power forced them to do. They always wanted to do that thing. They're just getting away with it now. And one of the reasons why I stress this kind of difference is because the idea that power corrupts suggests that power can never be used for good, and suggests that all people who do something evil with their power are actually completely and totally innocent. Which I disagree with. That's new. Whoa. Because it suggests, because the idea that power corrupts suggests that the people would otherwise be normal if they didn't have the power that they have, you know? Okay, I gotta do that. I see guns as tool. The problem is that the very tool is used to harm people, and people don't use them right. Yeah, people use them horribly. You be around guns and not want to use them. We have a lot of guns in Canada, and I personally have zero interest in using one. Guns are fun. Alright? Guns are fun. They are a fun thing. But they are ultimately weapons. And because of that, if you want to privately own one, I believe you should be, like, able to do that without, with like, a publicly accepted amount of competence. Oh, river pearls. Okay, good. I'm getting more of these. Oh, beaver! I now have this beaver here. Well, yeah, no, that is fair. Wealth disconnects you from how the world functions, and that definitely makes you, like, corrupted because it fucks with your brain. But I don't think that it's comparable in the phrase there. If you're required to pass the safety and handling course and keep it up every so often and risk losing it if you fuck up. Yeah, exactly. It should just be treated like cars. There's no reason to not treat it like this. Uncle Ben once said, with great power comes great responsibility. This Kyle has shown that to him. With great power comes great big booty... With great power comes great big booty bitches. Which is the extra part of that phrase, which proves why Peter Parker fucks so often. That's just canon. But yeah, Kyle Rittenhouse is a murderer and should be in jail. It's a shame he's not. Deadpool fucks more? Less, actually. It turns out. He fucks much less. It's bizarre, but yeah, he fucks less than Peter does. You'd imagine he would, like, fuck more, but no. He fucks less. I'm weirded out by it, too. Oh.
Nice beaver.
Thank you. I just had it stuffed.
Let me help you with that.
Chromatic Cuddle Fish played video share for
Perfect,
5,000 channel
perfect
points.
movie. Perfect movie. Oh, beaver! Oh, I heard about that, Cress.
Ah, Master Beaver. Surely back to pay your debt of stolen fishes. No. Human minnows am I. Fill the war. A bore. South him to the roads, maybe. Oh. Oh.
No, I appreciate it, Cuttlefish. Objectively good choice. Oh, fuck, my timer's all fucked up. I know him as Shang Tsung. I didn't see him in License to Kill, but I heard he was good in that. In the army, I personally don't think he should be in jail. The only reason being his shots that kills were only done once. He had another gun pointed at him. It's maybe a good person, no murderer. I mean, that's... Okay, let me ask you this. Should Charles Manson have been arrested? Should Charles Manson have been arrested? He technically killed nobody. He just convinced 5 people to kill for him. In the privacy of his own home, he was extremely charismatic, extremely racist, and convinced 5 people to go out and murder for him. He didn't lift a finger. Should he be in jail? He was a cult leader. Charlie Manson was a cult leader. I'm playing cops in the 20s. God damn. God damn. But by this logic that Kyle was somehow exempt from his actions despite the context of everything around him, and that he doesn't deserve to be punished because of this, you can apply the same thing for Charlie Manson. That is conspiracy to murder, not murder. So the conspiracy to murder doesn't get conspiracy to murder when Kyle Rittenhouse actually went there hoping to kill somebody. Hello, Dundee, how you doing? Rittenhouse went there wanting to commit murder. He didn't not want to. He wasn't actively avoiding it. He wanted to do it. It goes good, Dundee. Playing a video game. Up. World tree unlocked. Good point. Charlie didn't do the deed. He convinced other people to do it. If you pay a hitman, you're still on the hook for the murder. Yeah. And if you go out of your way to put yourself in an incredibly dangerous situation that you know will actively get you killed, or actively get you in danger, so you can kill somebody, then you're a murderer. Wasn't actively avoiding it, but was running from those who were actively attacking him? No, he actually ran after them. After he started firing, they ran away, and he ran after them to shoot them. The guy who got shot in the arm was on the ground. He was subdued. Also, there's the argument of equal force. One of the guys came at Rittenhouse with a skateboard. He went to hit him with a skateboard. That's it. That's what he had as his big bad weapon. A skateboard. I'm 10 toes down on this. Rittenhouse should be in jail. 25 to life, that's how that goes for murders. He chose to be there, he chose to arm himself, it's his fault. Yeah, he chose everything involved with this. He went there actively looking for conflict. He got exactly what he wanted and he got away with it scot-free. It's like Zimmerman. You ever hear that guy, the Zimmerman dude? Has something cute. Kiddos opened their advent calendars today. My son got a Yeti and from his Hot Wheels calendar. My girl got a handbag from Monster High Dolls. That's awesome. That is awesome. No, Zimmerman, the guy who murdered a black teenager because he felt threatened in his neighborhood. Trayvon Martin was given no justice. Yeah, exactly. Zimmerman had the exact same defense as Kyle Rittenhouse. I felt threatened, so I attacked them. I used lethal force because I thought I was under threat of my life. You're just wrong on him shooting the guy on the ground, and he was also being chased by more than 10 people and only fired, then cornered with no other option. So, let me get the... Okay, I'll accept that. I remember him shooting a guy on the ground. So, he was being chased by 10 people, and the best case scenario was that the armed man only killed 2. So those 10 people who were chasing him, do they all deserve to go to jail? Because if they're the ones in the wrong, that means that they were the aggressors. Should they go to jail? Do you think that those people deserve to be punished for chasing the guy out of their area who had a gun? Or does it mean that, like, well, what's your logic here? I will say today's Rough Darby didn't go well, but I did find a VTuber looking for an editor. That's good. That's as bad, if not worse, as blaming a role-playing game for causing a person to commit suicide. They're making a movie based on that, I believe, having star Tom Hanks. Yeah, that is true. Chasing isn't a crime, so why is it punishable by murder? Brody, if chasing isn't a crime, why did 2 of them get murdered? If the action they were undergoing was not punishable by death, why is it okay for him to have killed them? Pointing a gun at someone is? You mean pointing a gun at an armed person who is in a large, who is in an area that is not normally at, who came into this area with a gun? Wait, hold on. Pointing a gun at someone, so doesn't that mean that the guy who pointed the gun also has a right to kill the guy because, you know, the other dude showed up with a gun? Your logic doesn't track here. See, I'm mad at the dude who showed up to the area with the intent to start a fight. He got what he wanted. He got to kill people, which is what he wanted, and that's it. So the guy who pointed the gun at the armed dude, he's in the wrong. But the guy who shot the other dude who pointed the gun at him, despite being armed, he's in the right. My big issue with Kyle will remain that there is no possible reason he should have been there. Kyle's victims had orders of magnitude stronger position of self-defense, but they died as a direct result of Kyle's premeditated actions starting days beforehand. Yes. It wasn't self-defense! It's not self-defense. Like, okay, let me put, here's the thing. Okay, actually, I have a perfect thing for this. Hold on, I have a perfect thing for this. Alright? Are you familiar with Susan Lawrensick? I'm going to go over this.
To the level where
I'm
they're
kind of
so
done with Soulframe in the first place. I'm more interested in this conversation. So, let me say this better. It is a crime to point a gun at someone unless you are in immediate danger. Kyle, again, only fired a gun when a firearm was pointed at him. That's why he was let free, because his life was in immediate danger. How can you say that the guy who was there and at the mercy of a dude with a very powerful firearm was not in immediate danger? He isn't valid as a person anyway. He works for the TPUSA and gets money from them, so I don't care about Rittenhouse. That's fair. But alright, I'm going to go over this with you. We're going to go over the whole bloody affair. Kyle was not even legally allowed to own, to be alone with a gun. He was 17 at the time. Yeah, his mother drove him across state lines to do it. That's one of the other things. His mother drove him across state lines to go there. It was not his neighborhood. He was not in the right. We're learning today? We are. First, we're starting with this. I want to talk about this case because it's a similar kind of thing.
911 status for the emergency. I'm having problems with the neighbors.
I'll see you in a bit, Eric.
Hello, Sheriff's Office. Were any of you guys over here messing with this lady?
No.
Actually, the context matters more than anything else, Brody. That's how self-defense is decided.
We were playing football.
What happened? We're talking about Kyle Rittenhouse, self-defense, and guns in America.
Office.
I called because the kids from across the street, they shouldn't be screaming and running around.
Okay.
All the kids like to play. Sharon said they can't walk or even throw their football over there.
911, what is the address of the emergency?
Several kids out there right now are screaming, yelling.
9 times out of 10, that lady over there probably called.
Oh, I know.
It's like the kids.
She thinks we're trying to steal her truck.
Do you even know how to drive?
We're 11.
Chloe says no trespassing, and I always want them to go.
There doesn't need to be a call for service every time the kids are playing in the yard.
She's always messing with people's kids.
Sheriff's Office!
1 minute!
in this case right here, as a fan of Devil's Advocate, humans, while cunning, are not too bright most of the time. Some people are too self-righteous on either side to be willingly accept that they can be hurt. That is relevant, but still. Do you even know how to drive? We're 11. Yes, that's a mood. In this case right here, which I'm highlighting because it is a perfect example of this. The woman in this case, where is she? Where's a picture of her dumbass evil face? Let me just find the actual case here. Here.
Back to hear more about the arrest made of a woman who was accused of shooting a mother of 4 in Ocala. TV20's Alexis Goings is live outside the Marion County Jail. Alexis, tell us how investigators were able to make the arrest.
That woman is behind bars at the Marion County Jail after she was accused of
You were
shooting
supposed to look, yeah.
another woman in front of her child.
She shot a woman through her door in self-defense because she feared for her life. She premeditated this action, and according to the letter of the law, without circumstantial evidence, she simply felt she was scared, so she shot through the door at somebody. She premeditated this entire action. She premeditated the entirety of this murder because, 1, she is racist, like Kyle Rittenhouse. 2, she really wanted to kill somebody, like Kyle Rittenhouse. And 3, she thought that a self-defense stand-your-ground rule would get her away with the murder, like Kyle Rittenhouse.
Marion County Sheriff's deputies arrested 58-year-old Susan Lawrence last night for the shooting of 35-year-old A.J. Owens. Last Friday night, deputies responded to a trespassing call. When they arrived, they found Owens suffering from a gunshot wound. According to arrest reports, Lawrence hit one of Owens' kids with a roller skate, swung an umbrella at another, and yelled racial slurs at them. When Owens went to confront Lawrence, she shot Owens through her front door in front of her 10-year-old child. The mother of 4 was taken to the hospital where she later died. Lawrence told deputies that she acted in self-defense and that Owens was trying to break in. Reports show that detectives found multiple calls and incidences involving the victim and the suspect leading up to the shooting.
Oh yeah, Mr. Gigi did talk about this one.
Deputies were investigating if the shooting was justified under Florida's Stand Your Ground law, but the evidence showed that that was not the case.
Throughout this tragic event, we have been working very closely with Mrs. Owens' family. And right now, that family needs your prayers and support. The justice we have all been seeking has been served. The peace for them is still...
Now, she went to jail for a reason. There's a documentary called The Perfect Neighbor about this, and it's good. So, was the pregnant woman armed? Does that matter? No, really, ask yourself. Does that matter? I'm not going to answer that question just yet, because there is an answer. No. Does it matter? The door was closed. She was actively antagonizing the kids consistently. She was yelling at the kids. She consistently yelled racial slurs at the kids. This old ass homunculi here. She consistently yelled racial slurs at the kids. She had them on her property. She was very mad at them. She wanted them off her property. She consistently attacked people over and over again verbally. They consistently attacked her verbally over and over again. And while that woman was on her porch, according to her, she said, "Get out here, I'm gonna kill you." And so then she shot her through the door. Does it matter at all, given everything leading up to this event? Is it self-defense if you try as hard as you can to orchestrate a scenario where you are going to put yourself in danger as an excuse to kill someone? Because, as police found, she had already searched up stand your ground laws. This woman, right here, we're not going to say her name, it doesn't really matter, actively was harassing the children in her neighborhood, was actively screaming at them over and over again. She called them racial slurs. She was antagonistic. She was impotent. She was not impotent. She was, what's the word I'm looking for? Was it impudent? No, whatever. Ignore that. Ignore my searching for the word there. She was an extremely bad faith acting, angry, and confrontational person. Until finally, when the mother of the kids came over, very, very angry, antagonistic, there we go, she banged on the door, demanding to talk to this grease stain. And while behind the door, she said she feared for her life. So she shot a gun through the door, killing her. Everything in this moment that has led up to it is instigated and continually pushed by this woman. That's it. She is the one who instigated all of this. She is the one who pushed people to extremes. Belligerent. There we go. That's more of what I was talking about. See, the angry one walked up to the door and banged on it and was shot? No. The innocent woman, the pregnant woman, AJ Owens, walked up to the door and banged on it. And according to the Karen here, she said, "Get out of here, I'm gonna kill you." Which can be taken as hyperbolic language given everything that has been done up to this point. She was safe and secure inside of her home. Does it matter if she was armed or not? Does it matter? Every bit of the scenario leading up to this is something that could have been avoided on every single level. And it ultimately ended in her getting what she wanted. Killing her neighbor. Which, by the way, she actively was looking for stand your ground laws. If they broke the door, it would count for stand your ground. But they didn't do that. For the record, the pregnant woman was not armed. She was not. In the case of Kyle Rittenhouse.
After a 2-week trial, a Wisconsin jury acquitted...
In the case of Kyle Rittenhouse, there it is. Oh yes, it is here. For a reason. In the case of Kyle Rittenhouse
for shooting 3 people, killing 2 during a racial justice protest in Kenosha. At the time, Rittenhouse was a 17-year-old from Illinois who traveled to Kenosha after right-wing social media accounts called on people to protect the city from riots.
I am an EMT. If you are injured, come to me.
Rittenhouse acted in the midst of a chaotic protest where many people were legally carrying guns. Bystander videos show that the 3 men that Rittenhouse shot had been in confrontations with him. Rittenhouse has now been found not guilty on all 6 counts arising from his conduct that day.
We, the jury, find the defendant, Kyle H. Rittenhouse, not guilty.
So what happened at the Rittenhouse trial? Why did the jury conclude that he was not guilty? Is it a travesty of justice or a defensible outcome? There's no dispute that Rittenhouse killed 2 men and injured a 3rd, but as we talk about often on this channel, that's not the end of the analysis, and here it was only the beginning. Many people thought that when Kyle Rittenhouse admitted on the stand that he intentionally used deadly force on Rosenbaum and Huber, that was a huge tactical blunder, but intentional use of deadly force is exactly the thing that is privileged when you meet the requirements of self-defense. And this case hinged on whether self-defense applied or not. And more so than most self-defense cases, this case turned on the nuances.
I haven't seen Centrea's apology yet. I'll look at that.
Of both self-defense law and criminal procedure. It's not surprising to me that both sides got lots of stuff legally wrong. So let's talk about the law of self-defense in Wisconsin, because every state has different self-defense laws. And in Wisconsin, self-defense, like many other states, is an affirmative defense. In other words,
so he carried a gun where many others were, that is slightly in his favor, and why he was carrying. Others were carrying, and so he did as well. That isn't a good thing. I'm going to stand by this. This is a bad thing. In an environment where it is tense, in an environment where mostly people on the right are actively screaming for people to come in and defend them against the horrible black men destroying their property, the people in the town are going to be pretty fucking heightened. And when all of these people may or may not have guns, the people in the town who are now having a bunch of dudes who don't live here come in with guns are going to be pretty on edge. I feel this way about every one of the people who armed themselves who came into this area. It's not good. It's bad.
The defendant has the burden of producing some evidence. They must put forth some evidence from which a jury can find that self-defense applied. This is generally called the burden of production. But then, once the defense has made this relatively minimal burden, the burden of proof then returns to the prosecution, which must disprove self-defense beyond a reasonable doubt, which is the highest standard in all of law. Now, every state has self-defense law that basically says a person who is not the aggressor.
One thing about the people Kyle killed, weren't they all criminals? No. No. One of them was a convicted pedophile, yeah. That's true. Kyle Rittenhouse is still a murderer. I don't pay attention to that because that is a whatabout. That is a, oh, well, actually, maybe this dude who was killed, that's okay, because he was a bad person. We're not doing that. It doesn't matter if it's raining in January, there's a drought in July. We're here right now. Rittenhouse, Rittenhouse had no idea who the fuck these people were. One was carrying an illegal firearm. The third, I don't know. I mean, Rittenhouse was also technically carrying an illegal firearm, being a minor. But, that doesn't really matter, I suppose, in this particular case.
Is justified in using deadly force against an adversary when he or she reasonably...
Oh no, I get you. I'm just pointing it out there. Also, Rittenhouse didn't know he was a pedo, so that's just him being lucky on that one. And even then, that's a very weak defense.
Believes that they're in imminent danger of death or serious bodily injury. Now, jurors aren't lawyers, so juries receive jury instructions that include all the law that they will need to decide a case, hopefully written in plain English. The lawyers and the judge fight over the jury instructions, which will be the only law that the jurors receive in that particular case. Now, it is supposed to accurately summarize the law that the jurors are applying. And as you can imagine, the language of the jury instructions is extremely important. The Rittenhouse jury instructions summarize the requirements for self-defense in Wisconsin as: the defendant believed that there was an actual or imminent unlawful interference with the defendant's person, and the defendant believed that the amount of force the defendant used or threatened to use was necessary to prevent or terminate the interference, and the defendant's beliefs were reasonable. The defendant may intentionally use force which is intended or likely to cause death or great bodily harm only if the defendant reasonably believed that the force used was necessary to prevent death or great bodily harm to himself. Now, in a situation like this, a reasonable belief doesn't mean true. One can have a reasonable belief but still be mistaken. Reasonableness is determined from the standpoint of the defendant in the situation at issue, not after the fact. And as an aside, the law of self-defense gets slightly more complicated.
And this is really important here, too, because there was a clear way to stop any threat he might have been under. Why didn't he leave? Why didn't he just go the fuck home? If you feel like your life is under threat, why didn't you go home? You could, right? That was the whole thing. Why didn't you just leave? If they were harassing him throughout the day, why didn't he leave? If it was an actively dangerous area, why did you stay for so long? If he didn't want to do this, why did he post about how he wanted to do it? If he didn't think that this was a cool thing, why did after the fact he say how proud he was of getting to do this? Why has he given so many speeches about how he felt like he did the right thing killing those guys? About how it didn't matter about self-defense. It was about protecting the area. Why did he not just go the fuck home? If it was so dangerous, why did the 17-year-old cross state bounds to go there? I don't think any self-defense law matters here when he didn't have to be there in any way, shape, or form and his presence was actively making things worse. He could have just left. Didn't know about his protect the area comments? That's vile. That's what he said he was going to do. That's what... Listen, I get he's 17. Where are the parents? Oh, they dropped him off and were ready to pick him up whenever he wanted. They dropped him off there. You know, with other weird white dudes with firearms wandering around. Here's the thing, Cass, in a similar situation to that, I probably would have flattened them myself. Situations like that are volatile. Why would you wander into a situation like this, though? No, this is important. If it's a powder keg, why are you bringing matches? If it's a powder keg scenario, why are you, a random citizen, wandering in with a gun? Why? Why are you there? You're not trained for this. In this scenario, you're a 17-year-old with a death wish. The fuck are you doing? Why are you here? You're not magically gonna save anybody. Ammosexual. Yeah, no, I know. I don't like using the term too often. But yeah, ammosexual. Yeah, the whole reason, like, okay, the thing is, the reason why he showed up was to protect the area against looters and violence. How would you do that, Kyle Rittenhouse? How would you do that? Because a normal action would be bring medical supplies. Drive around offering food and water and medical supplies. Don't carry a large assault rifle strapped to your chest. Because the last bit there screams, I will kill you. And I don't know about you, but in a racial disparity protest, if a cherry-faced white kid shows up with a rifle wandering around, I don't think it's going to lower the temperature in the room. Which he did. He was bringing medical supplies and a large fucking gun with ammo. All that flies out the window when you bring a I will kill you sign. I'm saying if I were there, I'm not personally, I have no car, uninsured. Yeah, but that's a different scenario. Entirely different scenario. If ifs and buts were candy and nuts, we'd all have a Merry Christmas, but that's not happening right now. I'm all for self-defense and the right to bear arms, but even when the law was made back in the day, you needed to be trained on how to handle it properly and be wary with the gun. Exactly. A gun was not even allowed, a gun he wasn't even allowed to have. Doctors Without Borders enter dangerous areas with medical supplies unarmed, not to escalate. Yeah, that's another great example. The Red Cross doesn't carry around sidearms. People saying he went there for anything other than to shoot people is just coping insanely hard. Yeah. I'm bringing medical supplies, blah, blah, blah. He's bringing that as an excuse to be in the area while excitedly waiting to shoot somebody. That's what he wanted. He was excited to kill somebody. Why can't a mass shooter hold up somewhere to have some medical supplies in case he got shot? Yeah, that's another thing. A great example. A great example. Mass shooters have done that. A 1914 scenario, at least then, for one brief moment, things will be calm for one day. No, not going to happen. We need to change the Second Amendment. It doesn't matter what Kyle had on him there. He went there with a very clear intention that any reasonable person, in my estimation, can very much see.
When you're applying it to different varieties of homicide and manslaughter because the mental state required is different.
We need a Christmas truce. That would be nice.
For each of those offenses, but you can read the jury instructions themselves and see how the court modified the general rules that apply to self-defense to apply to each of the different charges in this case. It's all written down in relatively plain English, and it's worthwhile. You might be on a jury someday, and you might be faced with similar jury instructions. Now, Wisconsin doesn't have what's called a duty to retreat. In other words, Wisconsin law doesn't require someone whose life is in danger to exercise all opportunities to flee before resorting to deadly force. But jurors can consider whether someone tried to move away from danger as they assess the reasonableness of a self-defense claim. Juries are still allowed to consider whether the defendant had an opportunity to retreat to determine whether or not it was necessary to use deadly force in self-defense. And Wisconsin law doesn't quite go as far as stand your ground states, which remove any consideration of de-escalating or fleeing before resorting to deadly force. However, as we'll talk about later, Wisconsin does have a duty to retreat where the person provokes the attack against them. Now, at common law, a majority of jurisdictions required a duty to retreat before being allowed to engage in deadly force in self-defense. But today, a duty to retreat is required in only a minority of US states. Here is a duty to retreat instruction from Massachusetts. Quote, a person cannot lawfully act in self-defense unless he or she has exhausted all other reasonable alternatives before resorting to force. A person may use physical force in self-defense only if he or she could not get out of the situation in some other way that was available and reasonable at the time. The Commonwealth, that is the state of Massachusetts, may prove the defendant did not act in self-defense by proving beyond a reasonable doubt that the defendant resorted to force without using avenues of escape that were reasonably available and which could not have exposed the defendant to further danger. Again, that's the law of Massachusetts, and it's not the law of Wisconsin. And it should go without saying that the Kenosha jury was applying the law of Wisconsin at the time. And we'll talk about the implications of this particular aspect of Wisconsin law in a second. But the final nuance of self-defense at issue is that of provocation. A person who provokes an attack cannot claim legal self-defense, but it's more complicated than just that. The Wisconsin law on provocation states, a person who engages in unlawful conduct of a type likely to provoke others to attack him or her, and thereby does provoke an attack, is not entitled to claim the privilege of self-defense against such attack, except when the attack which ensues is of a type causing the person engaging in the unlawful conduct to reasonably believe that he or she is in imminent danger of death.
Yeah, I just looked at the footage, and no, that's not defensible. I just looked at the footage right now. Yeah, no. That's not defendable to me in any way. Oh yeah, the NRA needs to be abolished entirely. So can't get out due to being on the floor and surrounded, was in danger due to the gun pointed at him. He should have surrendered. That's it. The gun was pointed at him because he had a large rifle. That's the only reason why a gun was pointed at him. In fact, after he fires the shots, people either... One guy tried to wrestle the gun away from him and got shot, because that's what he was going for. The guy with the skateboard tried to grab the gun and take it out of his hands, because, you know, he's a shooter. And the other guy pointing the gun was trying to get him to surrender to the angry mob. They'd already struck him earlier in the night. He should have left well beforehand, and yes, surrender and hand over your firearm. Oh, by the way, when you said that he surrendered to the police, yeah, they didn't arrest him until hours later. He went to the police to talk about what he did, and then they let him go. That's it. And to the same kind of thing here, yeah, I think that the person with a large rifle... I think the person with a large rifle wouldn't have been in the scenario if they didn't bring a large rifle. I don't think the scenario would have happened at all if he didn't bring his big-ass gun. Do you really think that an EMT wandering around the streets and scrubbing graffiti off walls would have been attacked at all if he didn't have a big fuck-off gun? Do you think that he would have been left alone, or would he have been attacked? What would have happened when if he didn't have a big fuck-off gun? Oh, and by that note, so just reverse this really quick. Do you think that it was wrong of the dude with the firearm to draw line of sight on the guy who had the gun? In your own logic, he should have just fired. Because I can admit that the guy drawing the gun, not a great thing, right? By the way, the guy who drew the gun on him did so after Kyle had already shot at least once. Just as a thing, that's something. Putting it out there. But following your line of logic, shouldn't the guy with the firearm, the handgun, have shot him? By your own logic here? Because Kyle had already shot the dude who tried to take the gun out of his hands. Then the other guy pointed a gun at him. If you get punched, then go arm yourself and attack someone else. That's anti-self-defense. Yeah. Noting that they are carefully not to advocate for violence in any sense here. Yeah. I'm recounting the events that happened here. I'm looking at the logic here. I don't think that he should have even had a gun in the first place. I don't think Kyle Rittenhouse should have gone there with a gun. Because the implication of having a gun there is just to kill somebody if they try to fuck with you. That's all.
Or great bodily harm. Okay, so let's break down this law on provocation, which is an exception to the exception of self-defense, which is an exception to the ability to use deadly force against someone. So let's say you engage in unlawful conduct likely to provoke others. Well, then you can't claim self-defense, except that you can if your provocation causes others to use effectively deadly force against you. Now, we'll get back to this in a second, but the law continues. In such a case where the provoked attacker uses deadly force against the provoker, the person engaging in the unlawful conduct is privileged to act in self-defense, but the person is not privileged to resort to the use of force.
At the end of the day, why is all the blame on Kyle? Because he killed 2 people. And because the 2 people that attacked him, like, you know, to try to get the gun away from him are dead. Because Kyle is a murderer. One dude's life is changed forever because he has had his entire bicep ripped apart, and the 2 other dudes are corpses now. They are worm food. They are in coffins. Their families have lost them forever. And the 17-year-old that crossed county lines with a gun is kind of responsible for all of this. He chose to be there. The other dudes lived there. He chose to go there. That's why the blame is on Kyle. Because it's about his actions that we're arguing. I can't talk about the dude who drew a gun, because he's dead now. He's not alive anymore. If he was alive, I'd talk about what he did too. but he's dead as hell. So the dude who's left should probably have faced some consequences. I mean, you got what your side argued for. Or not your side. You got what you argued for. He was acquitted on all charges. The judge agreed with you, Brody, and I think I think the judge called wrong. I think you call wrong. He should be in jail.
Intended or likely to cause death to the person's assailant, unless the person reasonably believes that he or she has exhausted every other reasonable means to escape from or otherwise avoid death or great bodily harm at the hands of his or her assailant. So here, you only get to use deadly force to resist the deadly force that you provoked if you exercise a duty to retreat. Wisconsin law stipulates that the provocateur must attempt every other reasonable option to escape, avoid, or prevent the attack before resorting to deadly force if they were the ones that provoked the secondary attack. Now, we'll talk about the general law of self-defense and whether it applies under the factual circumstances as we know them in a second. But first,
also, I'm going to get this here really quick. This right here, a 7-year-old deserves to be locked away forever. I did not say locked away forever. I said he should go to jail. Hello, you're Bisky? Hello, Bisky. Hello. Yeah, he should serve 25 years. So also why a 17-year-old deserves to be locked away forever over shooting back when attacked and then chased. I hate calling it forced into shooting against the people who had previously struck him earlier in the night. Because that's legal and how it should happen. Because he put himself here. But here's the situation. While being chased and holding his gun, this happened.
New drone footage and a medical examiner's explanation may have enhanced the case against Kyle Rittenhouse in his
a person chasing him through a bag
homicide trial, according to USA Today, with the drone footage suggesting that although Joseph Rose
Then, after the bag was thrown, Kyle turned around and shot him.
To USA Today, with the drone footage suggesting that although Joseph Rosenbaum had chased Rittenhouse, he was not as close to him during the chase as previous footage indicated, and the medical examiner suggesting Rittenhouse shot Rosenbaum twice before firing a lethal shot into his back as he reached a horizontal position. CNN reports Rittenhouse also shot at 3 people who confronted him in the aftermath of that shooting on the night of August 25, 2020, during chaotic protests following the police shooting of Jacob Blake. He fired 2 shots at one unidentified person and killed Anthony Huber with another shot after Huber had hit him with a skateboard. And finally, he shot off most of Gage Grosskreuz's right biceps after Grosskreutz had briefly raised his hands to surrender before moving toward Rittenhouse with his own gun pointed at him.
So yeah, it all looks pretty bad, huh?
Grosskreuz's right biceps after Grosskreutz had briefly raised his hands to surrender before moving toward Rittenhouse with his own gun pointed at him.
So, perhaps, just maybe, Rittenhouse should see some jail time and not be able to own a gun anymore. But no, he was acquitted on all charges and completely let go.
The trial of Kyle Rittenhouse.
He was acquitted on all charges.
I want to talk about the exception of provocation, because a number of people believe that Kyle Rittenhouse provoked the...
No, he could have had parole or bail if convicted. That's not how the law works, Brody.
Attacks themselves and therefore couldn't use the privilege of self-defense, that by brandishing a firearm or...
Oh, yeah, no, I know. That's the thing. Rittenhouse is special because the reason why Rittenhouse gets so much defense is because he's a pudgy white kid. He's a pudgy white 17-year-old. And he had a network of support to argue in his favor by giving bad faith arguments about how it's totally okay. If Rittenhouse was a black guy, he'd be in jail right now. Flat out. Actually, he'd be dead. If Rittenhouse was a black guy, when he went to turn himself into the police with the gun strapped across his chest, they would have just shot him to death immediately. He also had right-wing news outlets, busting out to defend him. Yep.
Couldn't use the privilege of self-defense, that by brandishing a firearm or placing himself in the situation, he provoked the attack. Now, there's 3 issues here. First,
if he was not gay, he'd go to jail because he's gay. Yeah. Rittenhouse was supposed to be was supported by the same rich jerks who support the OpenAI stuff. Yeah.
Is there unlawful conduct? Did Kyle Rittenhouse engage in unlawful conduct that could constitute provocation and therefore prevent the defense of self-defense? Well, Judge Schroeder granted defense motions to dismiss the 2 misdemeanor charges against Rittenhouse. I think a lot of people put too much emphasis on those lesser included offenses. The charges were for possessing a dangerous weapon as a minor and a misdemeanor charge for breaking curfew. And arguably, Wisconsin law has an exception that allows minors to possess shotguns and rifles as long as they're not short-barreled. But more importantly, provocation requires unlawful conduct of a type likely to provoke others. Now, even if those 2 lesser included charges had stuck, they might not have been sufficient to rise to the level of provocation, mainly because Wisconsin is an open carry state. Mere open carry of a firearm is A, not unlawful, and B, possibly not the type likely to lead to provoking others. Now, I'm oversimplifying here. This is a highly fact-specific analysis, but it's not unreasonable that someone might not find that the gun possession, qua gun possession, didn't lead to provocation. Think about it. Is it the possession of the gun that provokes the attack, or is it the possession of a gun by a minor, or
possession of a gun by a minor who has actively been wandering around the streets during a racially charged protest, who has been working with people who are directly causing it to be more racially charged? That's the issue here.
Possession of a gun that crossed state lines that leads to someone provoking an attack. If you think it's the former, well, that's not illegal, and the latter probably doesn't provoke an attack. No one says, oh, the reason I'm attacking you is that you're a minor with a firearm, not that you're carrying a firearm in the first place. And additionally, breaking curfew probably couldn't be the requisite predicate because lots of people were breaking curfew and it wasn't leading to mass provocation.
Yeah.
Now, it's a closer call.
Neither of those things really matter, and this is where I actually have serious issues with the justice system. This is a failure of law as it is written, because, yeah, it was set up earlier. What Kyle Rittenhouse did was technically legal. I don't agree with that. I think that is terrible and bad. I think that is a horrible miscarriage of justice. It doesn't really matter what I think, though, because he got away with it. He got to kill 2 dudes and maim 1 for life, and he was completely let off scot-free. And now he goes around making money off of those 2 dudes that he killed and the guy that he maimed.
Paul, when you consider Rittenhouse admitted that he pointed his gun at the victims and claimed that when he was pointing his gun, it wasn't a dangerous provocation. Now, you could argue that pointing your gun at someone is assault or misuse of a firearm, but that probably doesn't
equal morally right. Yeah.
Work if the reason that you're pointing the gun at someone in the first place is for the purposes of self-defense. And in fact, there are Wisconsin cases to this effect. Though on the other hand, Wisconsin courts have an interesting history in analyzing the provocation exception. For example, in a 1975 Wisconsin Supreme Court case, the court held that a defendant was a provocateur by virtue of openly bringing a gun into a tavern. The Wisconsin Supreme Court held, quote, the defendant himself testified that after being slapped, he went out to his car, got his shotgun, loaded it, and returned to the tavern. As he was entering the tavern, he was grabbed from the side by someone, and he pushed that person away. He saw Freddie Jones start toward him, and he started shooting. He stopped after 4 shots and after Jones was out of sight. The defendant requests that the court grant him a new trial in the interest of justice. We find no merit to this contention. When the defendant left the tavern, got his shotgun out of the trunk, loaded it, and returned to the tavern, he became the provoker. Additionally, there's an 1883 Wisconsin Supreme Court case that says, quote, if one points a loaded gun at another and the other grapples with him to prevent the shooting and is shot, it is murder. And this is especially important in the context of the Rittenhouse shooting. Even Rittenhouse's testimony seems to indicate that Rosenbaum didn't lunge at Rittenhouse until he raised his gun at Rosenbaum, and that the reason, or at least one of the reasons that Kyle Rittenhouse shot Rosenbaum is that he feared that Rosenbaum would take his gun away and use it against him. And we'll talk about that in a second. And obviously you'd have to run a provocation analysis in every instance where Kyle Rittenhouse used deadly force. It's not a one-size-fits-all. You have to look at every instance individually. And if the jury had found that there was nothing unlawful that led to provocation, or if there...
Also, his fake-ass crying is exhausting. I've been busy in possessors helping a gay demon overcome an abusive ex. What have I missed? Just going over the Kyle Rittenhouse trial.
Were illegal things going on, those weren't the ones that were leading to the provocation. Their analysis to this exception probably would have ended there, and they would have found that provocation didn't apply. It's only where there is provocation do we get to the next questions. But assuming that that first hurdle had been met, you get to the next one, imminent danger. Even when someone provokes an attack, they can regain the right to use deadly force where that person reasonably believes that he is in imminent danger of death or bodily harm, and he may lawfully act in self-defense. Since this is essentially the same standard as self-defense in the first instance, given that the jury must have thought Kyle Rittenhouse acted in self-defense, they probably would have found that this exception to the exception applied, even if they got to this question. And so, if they got over those two first hurdles, they then would have had to get over the third hurdle, which is the duty to retreat. That's the final issue in terms of whether provocation can apply, and assuming the first two hurdles are met. The third clause says that the person who provokes the attack cannot use or threaten force unless he believes that he has exhausted all other opportunities to escape. If the jury got to this question, they could have felt that he had no choice under the circumstances. We don't know, and one of the prior issues might have precluded even getting to this question. But if the jury did reach this question, then they felt that Kyle Rittenhouse either had no opportunity to escape or had exhausted all of those opportunities. If that's the case, whether Wisconsin had a general duty to retreat might not have changed the overall outcome here anyway. Anyone who says that this is a simple case of self-defense or that it's cut and dry is definitely wrong. But so far we've talked about the exception to the exception, that is provocation. Let's now talk about whether the original exception, self-defense, applied or could reasonably have applied in this particular case. Let's talk about the facts as we know them from the trial. Now, warning, these videos are graphic, but let's talk about what the relatively uncontested testimony and these videos shows. Rittenhouse and his friend Dominic Black testified that they went to Kenosha to protect a car dealership called CarSource. The two owners of the dealership told jurors that they never asked anyone to protect CarSource.
Cool. They went there to protect a car dealership. Why? Why at all? You don't even go here. That's not your fucking job. I can tell you why, by the way. It was done because they were looking for an excuse to get violent. This has nothing to do with personal property, with caring about, like, the car dealership. They didn't give a fuck about that. They went there explicitly because they were looking for a fight. That's how that goes. That's what that was.
During the protest, a small group of 8 to 9 people were gathered at the dealership. Kyle Rittenhouse that night was separated from the rest of his group and jogged towards one of the CarSource parking lots. Kyle Rittenhouse apparently sees Joshua Zeminski is nearby, armed with a pistol. Rittenhouse continues to run towards CarSource. Rosenbaum chases Kyle Rittenhouse. Rosenbaum throws a plastic bag behind Kyle Rittenhouse, which lands on the ground. A shot is fired from someone else about 100 feet away. Kyle Rittenhouse turns around and stops as he gets to some parked cars and shoots the unarmed Rosenbaum 4 times in quick succession, once in the back. Kyle Rittenhouse then runs away from the scene. A loose crowd starts to follow Kyle Rittenhouse. Rittenhouse trips, falls to the ground, sits upright, and points his gun at one person, who backs away. He shoots at a man who does sort of a half jump kick but backs away after the shot. At roughly the same time, Anthony Huber hits Kyle Rittenhouse with a skateboard. Rittenhouse fires a shot. Huber picks up his skateboard and...
Hold on. Sorry, I gotta hide this for a minute. But, again, I gotta stress this. Yeah. Do any of those people, know that, oh, he was shooting someone in self-defense? No, motherfucker, he just shot somebody. He just shot somebody.
Runs away. Another shot is fired in either the direction of Huber or Gage Grauskreutz. Huber drops to the ground. Grauskreutz then puts his hands up while armed with a pistol. As he's making a move toward or to the side of Rittenhouse, Rittenhouse then fires at Grauskreutz, hitting him once in the bicep. Now, this is, of course, a hopefully neutral oversimplification. There are a lot of other facts. But at base, this is a confusing and charged situation, even with video footage, and it's not an easy case in either direction. So, was this self-defense?
Video's off the screen? Oh, I know, because they showed some of the shots. I'm not showing that on Twitch.
You can look at those facts and see
I moved it off the screen because you see blood. Like, you see, I saw the bullet go through the guy's arm.
You can look at those facts and find self-defense. Two diametrically opposed beliefs can both be reasonable at the same time. There are a ton of open questions here. Was the use of force proportionate in every encounter? Was the use of force reasonable in every encounter? Did Rittenhouse provoke any of those reactions? But the videos and testimony show a chaotic situation and people acting quickly. Now, no blanket assertions can be made. You have to run the self-defense analysis for each incident individually, including the shots fired at the people that weren't Rosenbaum, Huber, or Grosskreutz. With the provocation argument aside, one might look at these incidents in question and decide that they were self-defense. After all, in the latter two incidents, Kyle Rittenhouse was fending off what was arguably an attack with a skateboard, and in another, the man admitted he drew a gun on Rittenhouse. But one might also reasonably conclude that one or more of these incidents were not self-defense and were therefore murders. After all, in the first incident, Rosenbaum, an unarmed man, threw a bag of clothes at Rittenhouse, which didn't land anywhere near Rittenhouse, after which Rittenhouse points his gun at him, and then Rosenbaum moves at Rittenhouse, or apparently towards the gun, and Rittenhouse shoots him 4 times, once in the back. And yes, I'm aware of Rittenhouse's self-serving testimony about the preceding incidents. What I'm saying is that reasonable minds can differ. And
so, like, all of this, none of this is justifiable to me.
Rittenhouse also shoots at, but misses the unarmed jump kick man. And the latter incidents involving Grosskreutz and Huber happen perhaps a few hundred feet away from several dozen police officers. It's not surprising that the people who pursued Rittenhouse thought he was an actor.
The 4 shots was a crime, completely fair, and I will admit that. That alone he should be in jail for, but I'd go further.
The shooter who needed to be stopped.
After this, you're getting, after those shots, right? This right
also
here, this is the response people beg for during mass shooting events. This is the response people beg for. They want, it's like, oh, why didn't you just team up to get the shooter? What is the perspective of everybody here? That guy is running away from a spot where gunshots happened where he's got a big ass rifle. So yeah, people are gonna fucking jump him because that guy looks fucking dangerous. And honestly, yeah. Outright. Fucking stop him. There's nothing reasonable about the entire situation. A protest should never have been needed in the first place. The protest is one of the only thing that I am very much in favor for. Protest, good. I will die on that hill. Kyle Rittenhouse should be in jail, though.
Shoots at, but misses the unarmed jump kick man. And the latter incidents involving Grosskreutz and Huber happen perhaps a few hundred feet away from several dozen in Joe Zamudio. When Giffords was shot at a political rally, Joe...
Yeah, I'm assuming he's the shooter. Yeah, if you hear gunshots and then like you see a guy running with a rifle, you assume he's the shooter. Which I say again means Kyle was trespassing, a crime in addition to openly admitting to provocation with premeditation was intentional. The only reason Kyle is in jail is racism and mental health bigotry. Yes. Protesting is a constitutional right. But the situation that created it should never have happened. I mean, that's fair. Okay, yes, I will admit he belongs in jail. That's fair. It's the thing.
Law told that they had to determine whether Rittenhouse's belief was reasonable based on the circumstances. And this reminds me of the story of Gabby Giffords and Joe Zamudio. When Giffords was shot at a political rally, Joe Zamudio, who was legally armed, came running to help when he heard the gunfire that injured Gabby Giffords and killed 6 others in Tucson. By the time that Zamudio came to the scene, unarmed civilians had already tackled and disarmed the perpetrator.
I appreciate that, Brody. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Zamudio later said that in his confusion, he was within seconds of shooting one of the people that was helping, not the shooter himself. This is an issue that champions of Rittenhouse should grapple with. If Rosenbaum or Huber or Grosskreutz had killed Kyle Rittenhouse, they might have been justified in using self-defense under the law. Again, reasonable minds might differ on this, but any system that incentivizes rule by the last person standing, that is, killing the only person who might dispute your claim of self-defense, that seems, well, suboptimal.
Yeah. Also, I'm gonna hit you with a sidewinder here. Let me dump some cold water on everybody. Just gonna put this here, okay? No, like legitimately, I'm gonna throw this out here. If that guy kicking him in the head killed him, also jail. If the dude who was aiming the gun at him to subdue him killed him, also jail. I'll stand by that. Manslaughter, but jail. I will stand by that. The optimal scenario in this event is to subdue somebody to then have them face justice by their peers. Alright? I'll stand by that. If the kicking dude magically somehow fucking Mortal Kombated Kyle Rittenhouse's chest into a million giblets, then yeah, jail. Okay, I guess you could do that with a kick. Fucking, that's manslaughter. Spend like 5 years in the big house or whatever. If the dude with the gun looked over and shot the dude to death, manslaughter. I've been a manslaughter. Right? I can see the self-defense argument. I would still say, yeah, that's there. I'm not gonna be intellectually favored someone in the scenario, but I am going to look at what's happened here and go, yeah, the guy who I happen to disagree with politically and is a massive piece of shit in my estimate should probably be in fucking jail for the murders he did.
Prevent the application of...
Also, I'll be right back. I'm gonna grab a throat lozenge. My throat hurts.
Self-defense. And there are, of course, larger social issues here as well. Many have claimed that it would have been impossible for a black person to kill 2 people, injure a third, and fire at a fourth, and live to walk away from the scene, as Rittenhouse did. And then, of course, to be found not guilty. And we can probably evaluate whether this is true or not. One way to look at this is by studying the data on how juries perceive self-defense. A study by John Roman found that homicides with a white perpetrator and a black victim are 10 times more likely to be ruled justified than cases with a black perpetrator and a white victim, and the gap is larger in states with stand your ground laws. And after accounting for a variety of confounding factors, such as whether the victim and perpetrator were strangers, the gap is smaller but still significant. Cases with a white perpetrator and black victim are 281% more likely to be ruled justified than cases with a black perpetrator and white victim.
Back.
But systemic issues like that weren't on trial here. You don't adjudicate those kind of systemic issues in a criminal court of one individual. The issue is whether Kyle Rittenhouse engaged in self-defense, or more specifically, whether the prosecution disproved the possibility that he used...
Don't advocate violence? Yeah. The case fucking sucks, could have been prevented, and sadly so many bad actors make this case hard. I personally feel that murder of the first death and manslaughter for the second would be a better sentence than both being murder. I'd even accepted it that. Because that first one is abso-fucking-lutely murder. Like, in general, he should be in the slammer. But nah. He's wandering around anyway. Because we live in Hell World. I think I saw Zentrea's apology. It's on that topic, by the way, because I'm not going to go super into Zentrea today, because I don't want to, because it's boring and stupid, and I've said my piece. But her apology boiling down to, fuck it, you guys win, I'm gonna get rid of the model, or maybe not. Fuck you, Zentrea. Fuck you. I don't like you. You dressed as a Nazi and then crashed out when people called you out for it and sent your weird fucked up fan base after people afterwards. I don't like Zentrea. I don't like her. Everything that I have learned about her over and over again has made her look worse and worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. I do not retract anything that I have said about Zentrea. I stand by all of it. All of it. Every single thing. I will go over this. Okay? I will go over this. Alright? Podge. This is Podge. I like Podge. Podge is cool. I stand by Podge. Podge gave a good faith argument about Zentrea's outfit. Alright? That's it. Podge gave a good faith argument, spoke about it, and then Zentrea's entire community came over and started telling Podge a bunch of terrible shit that I'm not going to repeat. They tried to dox Podge, distribute revenge porn, and threaten Podge. Podge didn't need to apologize. Zentrea should not be on the fucking internet. I'm on this ish. I am not okay with Podge, or I'm not okay with Zen doing this shit at all. So Podge tried to argue both sides and got attacked. No. Podge tried to give criticism of the outfit in good faith, and Zentrea did this. I didn't know Nazis showed off their boobs. Yeah, that happens. Or had a cape with fur. That doesn't make you not dress as an SS uniform. The common German World War II Nazi attire was... The common German Nazi World War II attire was gray, black being used by the SS with large overcoats and fully bodied clothing. No chains or gems on it. I could give you my entire conversation with my artist, where nothing was based off the Germans' aesthetics, and to go blindly saying I made a draft from their suits is just as irresponsible as also damaging to me. Aside from the note, many militaries also have had black-issued military clothing throughout history. In fact, the SS also wore white as well. So are we going to punish VTubers who are wearing white uniforms or gray uniforms? Militaries all around the world still use black, white, navy, gray. Labeling me as such or having inspiration or promoting is incredibly reaching and helpful, unbelievably and unhelpful, I'm assuming. Unbelievably disrespectful to myself and the people who worked hard on the fictional Live 2D model. I've gone over all of this, so, no, Zen, you dressed up like a Nazi. I saw people do this in the furry community. You dressed up like a Nazi. Every single thing that you said here is a whatabout to something else. So, do you have those chats with your artist? Because you haven't shown them. So, you have those chats that show... Who is it inspired by then, Zen? Why did it have a red armband, Zen? Why do you have a skull with wings on your hat, Zen? I'm calling you a Nazi because if you goose-step like a Nazi and wear an outfit like a Nazi and have a bunch of Nazis calling you a Nazi, you're probably a Nazi. The burden's on you to change that shit. How it got to this level, I don't even fucking know. I wear a black tack suit based on Delta Force Spec Ops suit and black is good. It's the design that sets people off. Yeah. Well, both... wait, hold on. What's going on here? Zen's apologies basically, well, both sides did wrong, so oh well, time to move on. Yeah. The Imperial Guard in 40k, but I know better than to dress up like a commissar, because that shit looks an awful lot like a Nazi uniform. Yeah, it's because they're inspired by the Nazis. In fact, the commissar were directly meant to look like Nazis. That's why they dress like that. Several of the Nazis came to Zen's defense, which is sketchy as fuck. Yeah. And then, okay, Corvo goes here. Podge did not label you as a Nazi. Didn't mention anything regarding punishing you or anyone else. And didn't accuse you of attempting to appeal to Nazis. Saying that they are is inaccurate and irresponsible. She literally labeled you as a beacon in this post. She just made the comparison to Nazi stuff and my outfit. So that's not calling me a Nazi? Again. Podge did not call you a Nazi, Zen. I'm calling you a Nazi. Because you dressed like one. And because Nazi Miku came swinging for your defense. Because Kirsch came swinging to your defense. That's why. Can someone send a link to the image of the new outfit? I want to see how blatant it is. Oh, I got you. All right. Like I said, not spending too much time on this, but I got you. I got you. For the record, the use of the term canceling is really fucking stupid here because, no, you're not being canceled. You're being called out for the shit that you did. That's different. Also, here's Nazi Miku, an actual neo-Nazi VTuber, coming in to try to defend Zen, which, amazing. Here's Kirsch, another weird neo-Nazi VTuber coming in to defend Zen, which, interesting. Interesting. Oh dear, how's that? Interesting. Ho ho ho. Oh boy. And here's the outfit. So, that looks like an anime Nazi lady. Yikes indeed! Yikes indeed! So, yeah. I would say that, I hadn't registered the Death's Head on the back before. Yep. Looks like out of Helsing Ultimate, the one where Alucard fought, what were they again? Nazis. Yep. So, yeah. Maybe dressing up in Nazi LARP was a bad idea. And maybe, doing it and feeling confident about it is a bad thing. Especially when we have Nazis taking over the US government. If there's one Nazi sitting at a table with 10 other people, that's a table with 11 Nazis. Exactly. If you want my full thoughts on it, there's a video I can link to everybody. Hold on. If you want my full thoughts on this, I have a video right here that is the whole fucking breakdown. This is my whole section from the other day talking about this. You can go check that out. It's a whole video. People have talked about it and stuff in the reaction things. Now, I bet I know at least as much about historical European uniforms as this person does. Yeah. That's bad. It could only be worse if it was a blatant copy of the MC from Saga of Tanya. Yeah. No, I'm not a fan of isekai anime. I just know a bit. No, that's fair. That's fair. But yeah. So that's that. In other weird news, I got a really weird fucking thing happened to me today. Or yesterday. Earlier today, I think. So, you know, I watch videos on the internet, right? I watch, like, YouTube and stuff, right? And every now and again, I will experience something that is so out of the fucking blue that it feels like I just got nuked. Do you guys remember Your Movie Sucks? You guys remember that Adam from Your Movie Sucks? 'Cause, I remember Adam. I remember having some good times, right? Like YMS reviews, like the fucking the Cool Cat. Remember Cool Cat? You guys remember Cool Cat? This was funny. That was funny. I didn't know that Your Movie Sucks was a fucking freak. I didn't know this. This happened to me. I did not know at all about any of this shit. So I need to expose you all to it. Because I need someone else to suffer the way I have suffered. Because what the fuck is happening? Apparently, Adam from Your Movie Sucks is totally okay with lolicon art and is in favor of zoophilia. Well, these are things that occurred, and I was not aware. Thank you for the follow, Golemon. Sigh indeed. See, what's crazy? What's crazy, right? Is, okay, so want to know when I stopped watching Your Movie Sucks? And this is so dumb, okay? I stopped watching this motherfucker. Outright. I stopped watching. And it wasn't because of any of this shit, right? I stopped watching because I got really annoyed with one movie review. Okay? I got really annoyed with one movie review. And I was like, fuck it, I don't want to watch this guy anymore. Okay? Also, Pocky, not right now. We're gonna be watching this. Okay, so unironically, the movie review that made me stop watching him was for Spider-Man Far From Home. Okay? His review for Spider-Man Far From... No Way Home, that's what it was. It was the No Way Home review. Where I was like, I don't care, man. I don't care. Fuck off. This review, I was like, fuck it, I'm done. Because I love this movie, okay? I love this movie. I love Spider-Man. That's that, right? But I watched this
story in any other Marvel movie, but this time the narrative and experience were a lot more satisfying for me. Now, although they didn't solely resort to referencing the earlier films, there are a few cringe moments where they did exactly that. Most notably when Aunt May is dying and she says, "With great power comes great responsibility." Ugh, that was definitely not the time. Theoretically, this moment is supposed to be very serious and you're kind of ruining it. That entire scene was honestly so unintentionally funny.
This, you see why? This is why I stopped watching him. This. No, he's not being sarcastic. He's 100% serious. I was around this with this
Peter.
review.
Damn, there should have been 3 Tobys. They all just seem to have a more thorough understanding about what's going on than they realistically should. It was like there was a deleted scene or something where things would be properly explained to these characters that had never been in this universe before. There didn't seem to be much confusion. Everyone just kind of accepted it. That was weird. There's a part of the movie where Tom Holland, Peter, and all of the villains go up to Jon Favreau's apartment, but the lizard isn't there, and then MJ or somebody says, yeah, he wanted to stay in the van. So they just let him stay in the van unsupervised? Like, you're trying to wrangle...
Like this is what I mean. I fucking hate debate bros, okay? I fucking hate debate bros. I hate sycophantic, stupid, pretentious bullshit, right? Then again, I don't think we have to care about his opinion considering his interests. No, I know. This is not in any way relevant to what we're about to watch, okay? This is just what I checked out, all right? This is the last time I knew about this guy because I hated his arguments. They're very debate bro-y. They're very Reddit. It's very stupid. And then 3 years later, this happens, okay? And I'm gonna just let this wash over you for a minute.
Line as Your Movie Sucks or
Okay.
YMS
Okay.
is a Canadian film critic with a following of over 1 million subscribers on YouTube. He's a channel mostly known for his videos doing exactly what you'd expect from a film reviewer. His most popular works on the site include his review of Cool Cat Saves the Kids,
The review sucks, but at least it's not CinemaSins. True.
something that would play a part into a well-known copyright abuse drama on YouTube. He was also known for his currently unfinished review of Disney's 2019 remake of The Lion King, and his analysis of the controversy surrounding Kimba the White Lion. He's also a co-host of the Sardonicast podcast, and a somewhat regular streamer on Twitch. All in all, a pretty well-known voice within the online film community. However, in September of 2025, Adam would be involved in public disputes with the YouTube channels Rob's Media and Nick Andros, primarily concerning his past takes on zoophilia. As this
Okay, take a deep breath. So I hate to shatter this illusion at you. I am a bit of a furry. I have a fursona. I like furries. Furries make me happy. My fursona is a tanuki, because I really like shapeshifting, and I like a tanuki. They're cute. They're little raccoon dogs. I love them a lot, okay? Now, I like furries because it's a good community. And I like furry art. I like TMNT. That's furry. That's a furry thing. TMNT is a furry story. I like Yojimbo, the white rabbit, the wolf and cub thing where he's a rabbit. That's awesome. I love that. Hooray tanukis. I love tanukis. Where's the persona? I'll draw the persona. Give me time, okay? The VTuber is a furry. Who would have seen this coming? Yeah. Cinema Wins is better, by the way. Yes.
I'll do anything. I'll do whatever it takes to...
No! Usagi Yojimbo, yeah.
Vidronius played video share for 5,000 channel points.
Scalies are under the umbrella of furries. It's in the same kind of thing. Here are the Keto the Wolf, Cheese Grater, Hypnotist Sappho. Interesting. This is why I like Godzilla movies. I have personal opinions. I love Godzilla movies too. Including the parachute ball sack of the Tanuki? Sure. Hell yeah. And, see, the thing is, because BlackRock was a paramilitary organization used to, pretty much destroy a lot of global infrastructure and, push us further towards, like, the post-apocalyptic nightmare universe that, like, cyberpunk exists in. It's a joke about that. But, that being said, zoophilia, bad. Don't fuck animals. That's a bad thing to do. If you know somebody who's like, that they want to fuck an animal, tell them no, because that's bad. It's a very bad thing. Animals cannot consent to that. It is horrible. You're hurting an animal. Don't fucking do that. It's weird that I have to say this, but don't fucking do that. No amount of debate broing will get you out of the fact that it's a bad thing. Same thing with lolicon. Don't draw child porn. Don't do that. It's a bad thing. You are making a bad thing. You are depicting a child being sexually assaulted. That's a bad thing. You should go to jail for that. That's fucked up. And for anybody who says, well, nobody got hurt, no, it does actually hurt the community at large of every person, okay? One, because it encourages pedophiles. You might think, oh, well, isn't that saying that violent video games make people violent? No, it is saying that certain types of people, if they engage with certain types of media, will have their worst impulses emboldened. It is a thing that happens every single time this kind of conversation comes up. Why does lolicon exist? Explicitly to normalize the attraction to children that pedophiles feel. That's a bad thing. Don't do that. That's bad. 2, it paints a giant easy target on all porn because it is used as a way for weird evangelicals to say that anybody who draws porn is drawing lolicon, which is bad. That's a bad thing. See, it's not as bad as the first thing I said, but it is a bad thing. Don't do that. It makes censorship way easier for a lot of bad people. And thirdly, if you're drawing it, you're drawing a picture of a child being raped for sexual gratification. That's fucking disgusting. You're a bad person. Go to jail. It's still lolly if the character is 18 but drawn underage? Yes. She's actually 8,000 years old! No. No. You're a fucking monster. You're a bad person. Go to jail.
This information resurfaced.
So what's this? What did you do? What is this?
I'll do whatever it takes to...
No! I'm sharing that with the world later. Okay, so back over here.
Adam's response stated that the things he was being criticized for were, at most, a decade old, and were being unfairly relitigated. Now, usually when you bring up the age of a statement you've made, the presumption is that you've changed stances since then, that you no longer stand by those past statements. In Adam's case, however, the core of his arguments has been pretty consistent.
Yes, you can. Because the last I checked, evangelicals hate porn. They do. They do. Before we change subject, fire away. By the way, all of that stuff about lolicon and zoophilia is going to come up in this video. Literally all of it. Excuse you? Yeah. Hello, Ewaz. You've come in at a horrifying time.
10 years of time. To explain this, I'll be spending this video going through the decade-long history of Adam's devil's advocate arguments, primarily regarding zoophilia. And in doing so, we'll demonstrate that years later, his core arguments appear to remain unchanged, after which we'll examine his response when this history was recently brought back into the public eye.
You get the fuck back here!
But first, we'll need to understand what those arguments actually are.
Did I see the new Neil Breen trailer? I have not seen the new Neil Breen trailer. Give me. What about when someone draws the character as an 18 or older when in the original material they're a child? Well, then they're drawing an adult version of the character, which is less weird. And in some cases, it is like the... Okay, let me put it this way. If you're... Okay. If someone is making porn of one of the girls in Evangelion, right? Like Rei or Asuka, and they're drawing them as like a 30-year-old woman, then that's a 30-year-old woman in the story that you're masturbating to. Right? So that's like normal. And I can understand the logic there because like when I was 15 watching Evangelion, I was emotionally connected to those characters. Like I felt a certain type of way about Asuka and Rei, right? As an adult, I don't feel that way anymore. I see them as teenagers and it's weird. And like I could understand somebody being like, well, this is a doujin I made about what that character would be if they were in their 30s and I met them, right? Like that I understand, you know? Because it's like, all right, you've made an adult version of this character for you to masturbate over. So that's an adult character. That's an adult person. You are sexually attracted to an adult. So that feels more normal to me. Hello, Amy. Send it to me? Thank you. If you're aging up a character in something, then that feels more normal. It's like the not wanting that, you know, the not wanting the horrifying thing. The only time the 8,000-year-old looking like a kid is when the character is in no way used in a romantic way, or when it's some sort of transformation gag, also not used for anything even remotely romantic. Yeah. Oh, new Neil Breen trailer. Let me see. Oh, Lord. Neil Breen, let's go.
Laura, you're one of our best agents. I'm concerned about Heath. I'm aware of his current emotional and psychological problems.
Oh!
We have to distrust each other. It's our...
Yeah, no, Amy, that's a really good way to put it. The context is sensitive. Yeah, it's context sensitive. If you're 30 and you're into Jessie from Pokemon, that's different than someone aging up Anya from Spy X Family. Yeah, that's fucked up. Yeah. Like, if you're aging up a toddler character, that's fucked, right? So yeah, I'm in, that's a better way to put it. If you're aging up a character that is like a fucking baby child, that's different, right? That's fucking scary. That's insane.
Only defense against betrayal.
But he's the best agent I have. The agents I've chosen are from the top of the class. We may never meet in person. Heath is in recovery.
Breen! Brionine! You blame me for Neil? Good.
Get ready for your next hit. You're our best weapon. He's the best agent I have, but I'm still concerned about his stability.
Oh, God!
He is a loner with a rough attitude.
Breen, no!
Here's your target. You've got a messy plane here. Clean it up for me.
No!
I hate a dirty jet.
This is my partner in life. Breen, okay, I'll put it this, Cress, I stand on this. Breen is his own genre. He has to be one of 9, a Vegas realtor and makes batshit movies? Yes.
Flying jets and assassination is his life's blood.
You are watching a Neil Breen trailer. The bright side of Breen. Oh! Oh!
We at the agency have learned to
Yes!
accept
The computers!
he's a loner, but a great agent and pilot.
Yes!
I trust him completely.
Completely. Oh! Damn! Hit her with the no you. Damn. Now that's a good movie. Now that's a good movie. That's a movie right there. That's a good movie right there.
These cops are interrogating.
Also, hold on. This. No, not this. This.
The next episode of the Amazing Digital Circus, it's time to soak in the sun as everyone has a fun-filled day at the beach.
Except Jax. Fuck you, Jax.
On the next episode of the Amazing Digital Circus, it's time to soak in the sun as On the next episode of the Amazing Digital Circus, it's time to
Oh!
On the next episode of the Amazing Digital Circus. On the next episode. It's time to. It's time. It's time. It's time. It's time. It's time. It's time. It's time.
I think I found the way to leave.
Yo! Yo! Let's go! Big stretch coming in, thank you. Oh, the hydrant's coming in too. Oh, Gangle's gonna love this. I'm gonna fucking love it. I basically am Gangle. You know what drops tomorrow? What drops tomorrow? What drops tomorrow, my sweet baby? Woo! Woohoo! Now over to this, where I also draw stuff, because it's also draw time. It's also draw time. Trailer has Casper Van Dien in it. Nice! I'd watch more of it. Hell yeah. Give me some of that Starship Trooper love. So here are the pieces, by the way. I'm working on this, which is a really cool comic thing. It was a commission. And also this, which is me killing a bunch of Nazis, which is something I think is really, really good, and you should do.
Hello?
Oh wait, Space King 4? Space King? No! Ah! Also, we've got our prehistoric animal of the stream, which is the Devon Cinzia, which is a big bird named Devon. That is the Devon of the Paleolithic era. That is Devon. We do love our Devon. Everybody say hello to Devon. We love Devon. Who here doesn't love Devon? Nothing's calmed down a little. Has that copy of The Out made it to you yet? It hasn't, no. I don't know what's going on. None of my mails come in yet. I'm upset. It's frustrating.
The most contentious element of Adam's philosophy is the belief that animals may possess.
I am never gonna watch a single goddamn. I'm never gonna do any work. I'm never gonna do any work.
Got Freddy Fazbear's in the comments.
No!
Hey guys, why is there a suit missing from the back? Well, come on, it's not like it walked away on its own.
What do you mean Foxy's gone? He hasn't been in years!
Guys, I'm in one of the suits. What's a spring lock?
Why is there a tooth in the goddamn pizza?
This guy's been standing outside for the past hour talking about war? He's right behind me, isn't he? Why did Freddy Fazbear just call me a whore?
Hey, you did it again!
I'm sorry, ma'am. Your child's safety is very important. I tried to find my manager, but Mr. Afton is busy, so you'll just have to wait. I mean, come on.
What's the worst that could happen?
Y'all, I'll be right back. I'm getting free candy from the Yellow Rabbit. It smells weird around the animatronics.
Oh boy! I can't wait for my birthday party at Freddy's!
Perfect.
Guys, help! I'm stuck in the...
Perfect!
Does this mean I'm not getting paid?
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. That's what I like to see. That's what I like to see.
The agency to consent to sex with humans.
Now, back into hell.
The instance of this argument was during a live stream on Silent Hill 2 in July 2015.
Behold, hell!
In this stream, Adam identified himself as a supporter of consensual zoophilia. His definition of consent in this context relies on behavioral cues rather than informed cognitive consent.
All of you are trying so hard to avoid this video, it's very funny. What did you hop into? Hell. Hell. An animatronic cast? I could do one of those. Want to see a 9-minute animation? Not at the moment, but maybe. See, I cast, do you like the classic 3D FPS games? I do. Why did Freddy Fazbear just call me a whore? He did it again! It's perfect.
He argued that if it feels good, they're probably okay with it, even suggesting that he didn't need to fuck a dog to prove this, that a dog humping someone's leg was all the evidence he needed. I don't think it needs to be said how this logic ignores both the power imbalance and the mental gap between human and animal. The same gap most argue makes real consent fundamentally impossible. Instead, Adam offers a utilitarian view. If the animal doesn't exhibit signs of distress and receives physical pleasure, the act is consensual. However, this view is flawed due to what Adam is defining as consent here. A common theme when arguing in favor of zoophilia is the anthropomorphization of animals. It's one of the main reasons why
if it can't pass the hardness test, it isn't consent, period. Exactly. Like, the hardness test is the ultimate test for whether or not consent is involved. Please watch this instead of this hell. Not a big fan of zoophilia? Neither am I! I am also not a fan of zoophilia. It's not a good thing. God damn! The hardness test is... can someone please put down the letters of the hardness test there? A friend is dragging me into a game. I'm free from this hell later? No. No. You'll see it later. Damn! Alright, hold on. I need to hear the thing. I need to hear the thing. I need to. Alright, fine. Fuck all of you. We won't listen to it. Fine. 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 Oh, the Iron Lung trailer. I did see that. Fine. Hold on.
Failure.
Hold on.
I'll show you failure.
Fine.
That's it for today. And remember, trust us with your weather.
Rome wasn't built in a day. You gotta climb a little higher to the top of the display. Where there's a will, there's a way. You just gotta slit a throat or two to make the weak obey.
Today we mourn the loss of one of our own, but our commitment to the truth is as strong as ever. Remember, trust us with your news.
If you want it, just take it. The world's yours, don't waste it. Go make the stars align to shine brighter, brighter than the heavens in the skies above. You'll be brighter, going supernova, all the eyes look up.
Oh,
brighter.
And a big thank you to my producers for giving me this chance. I know I have some mighty big shoes to fill, but I promise you can trust me with your entertainment.
God damn.
It's not a shot
God damn.
in the dark. Not up to chance. If you've got plans, you'll cancel every question mark. Fish like to swim next to sharks. Yeah, you eat or you get eaten, and you're feasting on their hearts.
They're calling me a god, Bob. You gotta strike while the iron's hot. Leave the channel to me. I'll bring in more new blood if you'll know what to do with. Come on! Trust me with your network.
Shine brighter, brighter than the heavens in the skies above. You'll be brighter, going supernova, all the eyes look up. Brighter!
The other studios want to feed you the same old crap everyone's seen before. You want newer, you want bigger, you want brighter! I will be your voice, and we will redefine what it means to rule the airwaves. Trust me, and your future will be brighter! Now, who's ready to be baptized into a new era of entertainment? Brighter!
This shot right here, hold on. This.
Finally, I'll show them what I'm meant to be. They won't believe their eyes when I bring them to their knees to worship me brighter.
So good. So good. Absolutely bang on. Fan-fucking-tastic. I will say that my favorite song from this season, though, is still going to be Losing Streak. Okay, hold on. Hold on. I need to show... This is my favorite song from this season. This right here.
Good booze.
This.
Nobody want nothing
Fox
from me.
India's Come Up Into His Glorious. It's such a good
sung
season.
by a lovely broad.
This is still my favorite.
Here's to you, baby. Angel.
It's been so very long since Lady Luck kissed you. Still you listen for her song and pray that she missed you dead inside, 'cause you know it's all pretend. Close your eyes, 'cause you're going off the deep end again. You're living for the rush, for that royal flush, but you take what you can get. You play your final ace for a pretty face, tastes like scotch and cigarettes, and you can't help falling, going all in, though your odds are bleak, till you break your losing streak. But the next best thing we'll do, you wanna spend your chips on these rosy lips, trying to get me next to you, 'cause you can't help needing to believe
Oh, my heart. Oh, my heart. Oh. 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 Oh, yeah, it's from 9 days ago. This made me want to learn how to sing. Yes. I want you to destroy that twink. I would do anything for it. Briggs Boy, thank you for 30 months. My God. Oh, my God. Briggs Boy, I'm going to eat you. I'm going to eat your tail. I'm going to eat you. I'm going to chomp all over you. Nom 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 nom. Nom 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 nom. I'm going to eat you. Nom 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 nom. Nom 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 nom. Nom nom nom. Mwah. Nom 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 nom. Mwah. You're delicious. Thank you. You're delicious. Oh, yes, gonna chop off your tail, then chop out your heart and eat it. It's gonna be delicious. If Ox wasn't around, a lot of things wouldn't have happened. True. Things would have been better. This is why I say I'm attracted to one specific gender of people. I'm attracted to a specific voice. No, I got you. I'm attracted to what I am attracted to. And Angel Dust is very much on that list. My God. My God. Oh. Ooh. Woo, baby. Oh, also, Iron Lung trailer. Let's see this really quick. For those of you who haven't seen this, Markiplier, sweet golden god that he is, has been working on a movie for since the dawn of time, and now that movie is going to happen.
I see that question in your eyes. For what purpose do we remain alone in the dark?
Beginning the descent. Cruising depth in roughly 2 minutes. Stand by.
I ask myself that very same question.
I'm seeing some voltage irregularities on the instrument, so keep an eye out for sparks or flames or anything like that.
Why would there be flames? You did test this thing, right?
This is the test. Closing porthole shielding.
Where's the reason for this quiet rapture? Too few to rebuild, too many to feed.
You're the first one down. All we have are surface scans, that's why you're there. Well, one of the reasons.
New offering from F the Chaotic.
Eth, why you give me money?
Thank you for tithing.
Thank you.
Can we just agree this is important? Food, air. We need this, not just the COI, all of us. We need this.
There aren't enough of us left to be throwing lives away, but there is too much at stake not to take calculated risks. Eden doesn't understand that. You don't understand that!
I just want to live. Is that so wrong? Why doesn't anybody else want that?
Whoo! That is a banger line. I just want to live. Is that so wrong? Why doesn't anybody else want that? Oh, Mark's in here because, yeah, he's helping make the movie. Is he driving the dead body of an eldritch god? No, actually, he's driving a rinky-dink little submarine into an ocean made of blood. That last line is really good. I've had that shit on loop in my head. That last line is golden.
Is that so wrong?
You don't understand that!
Oh.
I just want to live. Is that so wrong? Why doesn't anybody else want that?
Whoo! Damn, that is some good stuff. Can you post a link to the video we started watching? I closed it already. I'm sorry. I closed it. I spared you that. You can find it on my Blue Sky, though. Also, okay, here we go. You did pay me the money. Oh boy. Okay, here we go. You paid me the money, and I've got a big head, so we might as well watch the thing. Here we go. All right. This is paid for, so we're watching it. But I am drawing still. Woo! Okay. Knight of the Bloodless Beast. Alright. Alright, I see you.
And the way you scared that young couple,
Oh my god, it was so funny.
I know. I've never seen
Boozeless.
someone get out of their bed so fast.
My bad, boozeless.
Totally. I feel like it wasn't as scary as it was last year.
You shouldn't be so hard on yourselves. We all have our so-so years.
Adios for now, Awas.
Mommy
You're
hasn't
wonderful.
done jack
Mwah.
the past couple Halloweens, but he's always at Drax November 1st, partying like he raised the dead.
Yeah. Hey, can you grab my phone? It's in the cup holder.
It's Drax.
Let me talk to him. Hello?
Why am I such a
Hello,
Gabo?
Wolfman. I assume.
Reports say that I am this cool because I am cutie patootie and I got a big fat booty. I know how to rock it, I know how to sock it, I know how to bop it, and I will never stop it. That's why I'm so cool. That's why I'm so cool. Because I'm also a little bit cringe and I embrace it.
You are on your way.
Yep.
Mwah.
I got
Can you get a
Frankie
shout out
and
from Aiden at
Mizzo
G's,
with
please?
me. We're heading your way now.
Excellent. I cannot wait to see you, gentlemen. You will remember to bring the liquor with you, correct?
Oh no.
Oh
no!
Yes, it's all right here.
Perfect. I will be seeing you soon.
Oh, you're doomed. You're doomed.
Oh, God.
What?
I forgot the booze.
You're doomed. You're cooked.
Yeah.
That was the one thing you were in charge of this year.
It slipped my mind.
You're the only one that can look normal.
Fuck!
Great.
Oh, honey, y'all
Well,
are
are
cooked.
there any liquor stores around here that are open at this ungodly hour?
Yeah.
Why was
there's
that his
one
job?
on the way that
He's the Wolfman. He can turn into a human. Invisible Man can't do that shit, and Dracula is a Dracula.
should still be open. But you're gonna have to go inside.
What? No, I can't. They're gonna need to see my face. I'd have to go wrapped up in bandages. Can't you just turn back?
No, doing it. It's a full moon. I can do it. Could Frankie go in?
Frankie can't even speak English. They're going to ask him something and he won't even respond.
Chew. Okay. Look in the glove compartment. Is there a little vial in there?
Yes.
Wait, what is this?
How much is left?
Not much.
Okay. Got some human elixir. I could take that and it might buy me enough time to get in and out.
Well, I guess it's our best option.
Fuck, man. You gotta take the hit for the team. It's for the booze. For the booze, man. You gotta. Oh shit, is that Joseph Joestar?
Thanks.
Or Jonathan
Okay.
Joestar?
Wish me luck, fellas.
Just hurry.
God damn! Werewolf turned into Jonathan Joestar.
Evening.
Oh, also, Arcos, all of the lore for Iron Lung is actually in the game. It just requires you to do a little bit of file digging, or if you go through some of the secret endings, you'll find fucking everything. Like, literally everything. It is solid. Like, you can find all of the lore in there. Like how the Quiet Rapture isn't the end, it's just the beginning of something else.
Just all this, thanks.
Okay, can I see some ID?
Yeah, of course. I left my wallet in the car, so I'll be right back.
Oh, fuck me. Oh, fuck me. Brody, what's the good news? What's up?
Where's the alcohol?
Damn it, I forgot my wallet.
Well, find it. Surely you're running out of time.
What do you think I'm doing?
Lots of talking, not a lot of finding.
I'm going.
Oh, you're fucked. Oh, you're fucked.
Oh, God. All right. Plan B.
I'm sorry, dear. I took your place in line. I'll try to be quick.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Arcos, I'll say this. It takes about an hour to actually beat the story of Iron Lung. It takes about 10 or so hours to unlock all of the lore in the game by exploring everything in Iron Lung. Part of it is also going to require you to go into actual files inside of the game, which is the whole thing. There are walkthroughs on how to do it. I recommend it. It's really fun. It is really fun. But it'll take about 10 hours to find everything that you want to find. And I'm counting for, like, crashing and like, no, not the game crashing, I mean you crashing the sub and dying, and it being difficult to find certain things. What's cooking? I am working on a commission, and we're watching a video real quick. And I'm sick. Here is the commission. It's the first time that I met Storm, my good buddy. Storm stumbled into my dimension, and here's me, chilling. And there's Storm. And I'm gonna pull out some, he's gonna pull out an NES. I'm gonna pull out some pizza. We're going to play some NES and eat pizza. So that's what's going on. Also, we're watching this. My throat hurts so bad, y'all. I need some tea so bad. I'm in pain. Another little commission you can do on the side. Hit me up tomorrow. I do need that money, so let's go. I'm down for it. What game's in the NES? You have to ask Storm.
Oh my God! I am so sorry. I can help clean it up. Here, I'll go grab that mop back there.
You fool! Are you going to drink a diet soda as well? I would if I could, but I don't have any diet soda. Damn it! He's turning into a furry in public. Jack Griffin, get your shit together. Ah, it's Frank. Sup, Adam? Where?
Just this.
Oh.
This basket actually belongs to that guy over there.
Hey, friend.
Oh.
Okay, well, I'm still gonna need to see some ID.
Oh no! Oh no!
¿Puedo ver alguna identificación?
Ya te entendió.
What?
Déjame agarrarlo.
What? Yo, hell yeah!
Señor, aquí dice que tiene 1 año.
It says you are 1 year old.
You can't get the drinks last minute like this.
What?
Yo!
What if someone else was working tonight? You guys would have been screwed.
But you were, but, sorry.
Yo!
On sale goods in Transylvania, 12-pack with a free shirt.
Yo! Oh, the squats. I gotta do squats. Fuck. Kuma, you monster! I will do the squats. I got it. Okay, that was awesome. That was awesome. Oh. That's good animation. Oh, stretch. That's good animation. That's good animation. I gotta pee really bad too, so I'm gonna do these squats, then I'm gonna pee. Damn, how long have I been streaming? Who knows? Here goes. Okay, squats. I'm sick too. This sucks. All right. All right. 1, 2.
Hi. Did you know that it's illegal to say
3.
we should kill the president?
4.
Label me a
5.
dissident.
6. 7.
Wanna kill the president?
8. 9. 10. 11. 12. 13. 14.
Yo, we should kill the president.
16.
Label me a dissident.
17. 18.
Only American.
19.
To wanna kill the
20.
president.
21.
This is how the world
22.
ends. He's
23.
killing all of my best friends.
24.
I don't think I'll be
25.
content.
I'll see you later. Adios for now, okay? I gotta go pee really quick. I'll be right back.
I don't wanna believe it, but I think that it bears repeating. We should shoot a billionaire, film it, put it on the air, dragging by his Turkish hair. No one cares. We should shoot a billionaire.
They talk openly about killing us every day in their campaign ads, budget proposals, executive orders, and their rambling misspelled tweets. They revel in violence. Why shouldn't we?
Oh, hello, filthy, miserable dirt peasants. I can't seem to find my very impressive castle. Maybe you've seen it?
We should kill the president. We should kill the president. Yeah, we should kill the president. We should kill the president. Yeah, we should kill the president. We should kill the president. Yeah, we should kill the president. We should kill the president. We should kill the president. Yeah, we should kill the president. We should kill the president. Yeah, we should kill the president. We should kill the president. We should kill the president.
Life is a drag, life is a chore, frightfully sad, so mindless a bore. Mice in a bag, you fight and you gnaw, for the right's just a brag and the line for the door. The higher your score, the louder you bicker. Life gave you lemons, good heavens, you're bitter. And whatever you get to collect will that head interject with incessant effect. Here comes the next utter wreck. What the heck? Cut the deck, unsuspectingly betting their dinner when left unchecked. Cuts a check.
God, my throat hurts. You guys said I was streaming for about 4 hours, you said? A little under? How under 4 hours are we talking? I might have to call it. Being sick fucking sucks. Like, my throat actively hurts. Like painfully. I'm taking another throat lozenge. 12 minutes under? I'll give it some time. 3 hours, 49 minutes? I'll keep going for a bit then. Mama didn't raise no quitter.
Buster as rubberneck, but expect still to end up a win.
Mama didn't raise no quitter. Fuck it. Let's go. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. Oh, there's that video. Here. Yeah, A Decade of Zoophilia. There you go. A Decade of Zoophilia debate. Your movie sucks. I should subscribe to this person. Oh, fuck.
Norm. And so
here you go. Have an AV that has become multimedia? Gimme.
Oh yeah, it's like candy for my knuckles.
Oh dear lord.
Goblin.
Oh! Oh no! Paladin, why? You scare me. Thank you for 5 gifted subs. And thank you for starting a hype train. Ah! Alright, here's this thingy.
And tonight's Halloween.
Alright, let's see this.
You came at a bad time, but you just crossed the line. You wanna get wild? Okay, I'll show you wild.
God damn.
Better come right, better not try and get into a level. Cause you might die another the time trying to start a battle.
Oh. No!
Adam Johnston, known online as Short Movie Sucks or YMS, is a Canadian film critic.
Why have you done this?
What do you want?
Put your no one gets out of that hell.
Dick in my
damn.
ass.
Oh, goddamn, the queer dick is in my ass. But yeah, you gotta hype it up. I don't know how hard you want to hype it, but I'm here. Thank you for a community sub. Damn. God damn.
Budget flights. No food or movies. We're out of here.
Everybody.
Dick in my ass.
Nothing to us. One of you done it. We come up from sun up to sun up, so come out to play. One in a way, we one in a million. We kill it, but really, you want it okay. Heels, nails, blade, mascara. Fit check for my name, pump error. Need to beat my face, make it cute and savage. Mirror, mirror on my phone, who's the baddest?
This is fucking adorable. I love this.
Goblin.
Oh. You got a level 2 hype train. Oh. I would do anything for those people. I'd do anything for the Huntrix crew. Up to and including dancing with my whole ass out. I loved that. That was great. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Mwah, mwah, mwah. I give you all smooches. Mwah. And we're at level 2 in the hype train. Let's go. Hell yeah. So, do we have to go back to that hell? No, I'm sparing you of the hell. I'm sparing you of the hell. I'm going to draw some picture. Okay, here. Bum 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 bada 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 bum 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 bada 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 bum bum bum. Minimum requirements to join hundreds. Crush a watermelon between your thighs. I'm working on it. I'm sick. I have to rest. Tier 100, then do I get a refund? Well, what do you mean? No! It's... What? That's not how things work.
Put your fucking queer dick in my ass!
Thank you for 100 more goodies. What did you send me for? You got... What? Explain.
He could preach the Bible like a preacher, full of ecstasy and fire. But he also was the kind of teacher when they would desire.
No, the video share is for like showing a clip of the video, not to like get us to watch the whole thing. How about this? If we reach a level 5 hype train, we'll watch the Zoophilia video. We'll watch the whole thing, okay? How does that sound? There's the goal. If the hype train is completed at level 5, Zoophilia. I mean the video about how Adam thinks Zoophilia is good. You get what I mean? We're going to hell. Fuck you all. You're all monsters. You know what? Fuck it. Here. Here.
This isn't even accounting for minor injuries that could
I'm just doing it. I'm just taking you back to hell with me. Here, we're in hell.
We're in hell. The issue here is that...
Wait, how many bits to force cast to watch the content nuke? Okay. Alright. If you want me to watch the content nuke, that is $1 for every minute that the content nuke is long. Then I'll watch the content nuke. I will watch the whole content nuke if I am paid $1 a minute. I don't want to watch it either. That shit is awful. However, this. Thank you for 900 biddies.
Dick in my ass.
Thank you for 900 biddies. Get more confused. Throne charged me for the book, but Amazon doesn't have a record of the order. That might be because of privacy stuff. That is weird.
What most zoos will do, and what Adam is doing here, is point to that behavior and portray it as a dog humping a person's leg for the same reason a human might, that being sexual gratification, which just isn't the case for the animal. By interpreting animal behavior through this anthropomorphic lens, Adam constructs a scenario where animal consent could be a tangible fact, rather than projection of human desire onto an animal. The second pillar is a legal argument rooted in the same brand of skepticism you'd see in the early 2010s of YouTube. Adam would constantly make the argument that laws specifically targeting bestiality are discriminatory because they punish repulsive thought crimes rather than actual harm. His logic is as follows. Laws against animal abuse are...
I feel like at this point, any streamer who wants to run the content nuke needs to pay me to watch it. That is fair. Only weird dolphins can consent. No!
already exist to punish physical harm. If a sexual act with an animal...
I'm dragging you all into this hell with me.
...doesn't result in physical injury, then there's no victim. Therefore, laws criminalizing non-abusive sex with animals are based solely on a societal moral disgust, rather than protective of the animal. In that same 2015 livestream, he stated that laws that exist against bestiality or zoophilia literally only affect people who are not abusing the animal. By making this framework, he attempts to separate the sexual nature of the act
from hell's
the
heart
abuse,
I stab at thee. Yes.
feeding into his argument that there's a slim possibility animals can consent to humans.
It's level 362% with 7 gifted subs and 1,200 bits. Thank you! Ninjurino Crime is some soft sit shit? Yes. That it's time to do a Serpentius and try to drill my way out of this place. You're stuck here. Oh, also, about this. You will hear one of the most offensive things I can possibly describe to you, which is unfiltered debate brain. Never go full debate, bro. Never go full debate, bro.
The problem with this logic is that he supports it by claiming there's no evidence to support animals being traumatized from being violated, unlike with victims of pedophilia. Obviously, there is evidence that animals will show behavioral signs that they've been sexually abused, be it sudden aggression, fear of humans, or in some cases even mental regression. This isn't even accounting for minor injuries that could result due to incompatible anatomy. The issue here is that Adam's argument tries to separate the sexual component from the abuse it can result in, making it easier for him to claim that there's no evidence of those issues occurring in the cases of consensual zoophilia. He stretches this distinction so far that he'll even categorize the prohibition of bestiality alongside that of homosexuality, arguing that history would eventually vindicate him, just as it had.
This is why I wanted to watch this video on stream, because that is one of the most insane, out-of-pocket, ridiculously horrible things I've ever heard someone say. No, that's not how that works. That is not how that works. What are we doing? Dumb is right. Damn, that is a dumb man.
For the LGBT community, this is my second least favorite argument made in favor of zoophilia. Want to guess what the first is? The most enduring pillar employed by Adam is the social hypocrisy argument. This serves as a deflection tactic. Whenever the morality of zoophilia is challenged, Adam will pivot to the treatment of animals in agriculture. He argues that practices such as artificial insemination, which he refers to as literal rape, and slaughtering animals for food are objectively more harmful than sexual intercourse. He mentions time and time again that society accepts the torture and rape of animals, whether it be for meat or entertainment. However, will shun people who engage in sexual acts with animals that may cause no physical pain. In an ideal world.
So, I also want to point out here that there is no way that logic tracks at all, because you can be against factory farm practices and the abuse of animals, and also be against this kind of abuse of animals. So, that's Adam's just stupid. Also, no, Stone, we're here now. We're here now.
I wouldn't need to explain to you the issue with this logic. But this isn't an ideal world, is it? Let me present the logic here in a bit more of a practical example. Imagine you've been in an accident, you're unconscious and rapidly bleeding out.
Oh no!
Because the hospital can't reach a guardian or family member, the doctors perform surgery on you without your consent. This is done based on the assumption that in a situation like this, any reasonable person would want to be saved from death. Most people would accept this breach of consent because it's done for the benefit of the patient. But if we follow Adam's logic, then to avoid being a hypocrite, you now also accept an unconscious person being used sexually. Now, you might be a bit repulsed by this concept. That is a good thing, because it means that you understand the difference between a surgeon violating your consent to save you, opposed to someone violating your consent to use you.
Again, when I say that you should never debate brain, not even once, this is what I'm talking about. What in the Reddit is wrong with this man? What in the Reddit is going on here?
Ignoring this distinction, Adam's argument accidentally creates a justification for one of the more vile things you can do to a living being. The point I'm making here is that willingly participating in the perceived immorality of the meat and horse racing industries isn't comparable to fucking an animal. This argument is a false equivalence, plain and simple. It would be like saying that we use knives to cut vegetables, so you're being a little bit of a hypocrite for not letting me go around and stab people with it. For Adam, however, this is essentially one of the more enduring pillars of his argument. He frequently cites this, along with multiple media examples to strengthen this claim, specifically pointing to the films Jackass No. 2 and Freddy Got Fingered. Both of these films have sexualized horses specifically for the purpose of gross-out comedy. He argued that if jerking off a horse is acceptable for a comedy bit, criminalizing it for sexual gratification proves the law is policing the...
I don't think it was cool there either. But, okay. Like, what's crazy about these kinds of debate brain tactics is that when they argue these kinds of things, it falls apart the moment you point out that you can care about two things at once, and they don't contradict each other.
The intent behind the act rather than the act itself. This is, again, a typical false equivalence. In both of these films, there is no acts of bestiality being committed, as no one is actually having sex with an animal. In Jackass, they get horse sperm due to animal husbandry practices, and have a crew member drink it for gross shock humor. In Freddy Got Fingered, similar work is done here for a crude gag, where the main character masturbates a horse on a stud farm. There were multiple veterinarians on the scene to ensure the horse actor was tended to ethically for this gross-out gag. Regardless of whether you find this sort of humor or imagery funny or not, there's no hypocrisy here, as the people behind both examples adhered to both animal cruelty and bestiality laws, to ensure none were broken in the making of these films. So with that out of the way, we're now familiar with the three pillars of Adam's argument.
So you can see that, like, on a base, this is one of the reasons that this stuff is always so fascinating to me, because it's done. You can't argue in favor of it unless you're just ignoring reality, which is what a lot of people end up doing. But fucking hell, dog. Why are you dying on this hill? Why do you think it's okay? It's not okay. Be normal.
Now we can see how this argument has progressed over the past decade. Okay, so to get fully immersed into his stances on bestiality, I believe it would help to know his views on fictional content. To give you a bit of a baseline, one of the earliest examples of Adam arguing in favor of this type of content would be back in February 2016. During a casual stream of The Witness, he gets asked a pretty simple question from his chat.
Should animated child porn be legal? Yes, it should be.
No.
You shouldn't be able to go to jail for drawing something.
Sorry, this is important to me.
From his chat.
This is important to me.
Should animated child porn be legal? Yes, it should be.
At that point right there, any opinion that he has is invalid to me. Because no, it should not be legal. Not under any circumstances. No. In no way. It is objectively a bad thing. It is fundamentally a bad thing. There is no use case for it being good. It is just bad. The end. It is the creation of child sexual abuse material for the sake of the sexual gratification of pedophiles. That is a bad thing, because it normalizes the behavior to them and tells pedophiles to engage in the urges in a perceived safe environment, which is not how that works. His argument is shit based on the grammar alone. Oh, 1,000%.
You shouldn't be able to go to jail for drawing something, even if it's, like, disgusting and people don't agree with it.
Not how that works.
Yeah.
It's that's like saying, I don't have a good counter example because this is the example. No, you should go to jail for that because you are creating child sexual abuse material. You've created something that depicts a child being sexually abused for the sake of sexual satisfaction. That's a bad thing. Don't do that. The end. And to think that that's okay is a massive red flag. Those of you who don't get that, what I mean is he's calling it child porn, but with a modifier and pretending the modifier is more important than the thing. Yeah. He's willfully ignoring the fact of what it is.
It's like... like, you can just not look at it if you don't like it. There's no victim to drawing something.
Yes,
yeah, I love it when people think that, like, an actual baby's been harmed by drawing one. It's like... What? Are you, like, mental? I know that, like, people get uncomfortable, but, like...
Yeah, exactly.
That's not what the argument is.
Jail people for being...
Also, that's not what the argument is. The argument is you should not be allowed to draw child sexual abuse material because when you draw that, you normalize it for the people who want the real thing. Because, okay, here's a good example, right? People will jump to violent video games, right? No doubt somebody is somewhere in the world arguing this point right now. Well, does playing a video game make you violent? No, but if you have homicidal urges, playing a violent video game can make you have a higher desire to engage in those urges. That's what that is. That's what that is. If you have these urges within you and you engage with them by proxy, it will normalize these urges. That is a bad thing. It's not that this thing makes you violent. It is that if you are predisposed to these kinds of actions, you are more likely to engage in them if you do so through a fictional mean. It's not acceptable. It's a bad thing.
Comfortable.
This clip gives us a baseline as to what Adam's beliefs are. The sort of beliefs he would maintain for the decade to come. It's a pretty simple argument. Drawing is fantasy, and because no real person is harmed in its creation, then there are no victims involved. Therefore, while it might make people uncomfortable, it shouldn't be illegal. So now, understanding the foundation of his argument, we can move ahead 2 years later to 2018, when this belief of his would be more openly presented. Hecklebox was a popular Canadian furry artist. While they were somewhat controversial due to their more notable art getting them labeled by some as a hip-hop culture vulture.
That's fucked. That's fucked. The depictions of the act encourages the act. Some depictions even include instructions on how to carry it out in real life. Yeah, baby was a hell of a pic. Oh, I didn't even touch on that, but yeah, that's another crazy thing.
The thing that led to their disappearance from the internet was the discovery of Tacklebox being into cub porn, that being explicit artwork of underage furries. Basically, it's the furry equivalent to lolly. A multitude of furries would express their disappointment that an artist they liked was indulging in such revolting content. But of course, there were also those who felt differently in the discussion. Adam found himself being a part of the latter, as he would put out a tweet speaking on the situation. To all the people out there that think illustrated and/or fictional porn depicting illegal activities should be illegal, why do you not apply that same logic to films and literature depicting acts of murder?
I hate when people make this argument because it is incredibly disingenuous. It is incredibly disingenuous in every possible way. Okay? It is willfully being ignorant for the sake of allowing something terrible to exist. That's not how this works. All of that in the fan groups grow. They splinter off into people trading the actual materials whenever they see an opening. Yeah. Look what happened when Doom 93, some kids played it and decided it'd be fun to recreate Doom with live rounds at a school. It's not the game's fault, it's merely unstable teens' fault for not separating fiction from nonfiction. Yes, exactly. But the difference between something like rape fantasy erotica, right? Or violent video games or murder mystery novels is that those have a level of enjoyment beyond somebody with a direct desire to commit a crime associated with a thing. Like, it's not like movies that are about murderers directly target murderers as their audience. When you draw Lolicon, you are directly targeting pedophiles as your audience. It is media created explicitly to appease pedophiles. That's what it's for. Like, there's no casual enjoyment of Lolicon. You are trying to enjoy child sexual abuse as a form of sexual gratification. That's what you're doing. That's what the target audience is. It would be like creating... If video games were solely created so serial killers could get off on murdering somebody without having to murder somebody, I'd feel the same way about that. But that's not the universe we live in. Right? And when people make this argument where they're like, well, you know, it's not the same. It is the same. It's, you know, why do you not have this energy for like rape erotica or for murder in video games? It's because there are different targets for the audience. It is a different thing. And to behave that like it isn't is insane. I'm back and dragged into this hell? Yes.
I don't see how it's any different from an ethical standpoint. Given this is a pretty vague post, you're probably questioning if this is even about Tacklebox. Well, going into the replies, we can see a back and forth he has in the replies with furry musician Pepper Coyote.
Hey,
he would
Pepper
offer
Coyote
his own take on the matter, writing, "Very few people use violent media to try and groom potential murder victims, who also happen to be children, into consensual murder. I think all of this should be thought of on a case-to-case basis, and broad comparisons and generalizations are difficult to make." Adam would respond by reiterating his position, framing it not as a hypothetical, but as a defense of Tacklebox and a criticism of the consistency of the furry community's ethics. I just feel bad for Tacklebox, and I don't feel like they deserve to be dogpiled by the entire community when so many here jerk it to rape scenarios instead. I'm not into...
That's not the same thing. It's not the same thing. You finished the thing I'm proud of? Echo, please show me the thing. I want to see it. It's wonderful to see you. Mwah. But it's not the same thing. It's disingenuous to say this.
Either of these things. I just don't see how one's worse to draw from an ethical standpoint. To which Pepper Coyote responded again, saying, "The difference I see is that most fantasies can be simulated with consenting adults. When someone wants to go the next level with CP, ... I believe in media's ability to shape behavior in some of the time, especially over time. This exchange shows us the core of Adam's argumentation.
That is also a fair argument because, yeah, if you have a rape fantasy as part of your like sexual kinks, that can be done in a consensual environment. You could have consensual, non-consensual like sex play. That is a real thing that people do. And that's why you have safe words, that's why you have like structures around that to make sure it's okay. This is a possible thing to enjoy. You cannot do that with Lolicon because, you know, it's Lolicon. It's a crime. And the defenses for this kind of shit is so weak and pathetic. Also, Echo, that character design is amazing. I love that. I love that.
Isn't that the content
I love
is
the character
good.
design, Echo. You did
the
an
argument
amazing
is
job.
that you're a hypocrite for condemning this content, but not condemning other fictional, unethical content, like murder or rape. The context of those scenarios doesn't matter to him. It's the moral consistency that Adam focuses on. The third pillar, so to speak. So now that we've seen Adam's argumentation at work when it comes to fictional works like explicit cub or lolly art, let's truly understand why Adam has been receiving the critique that he has. In other words, let's discuss Adam's opinions on zoophilia and bestiality. As mentioned before, one of the earliest presentations of his ideology would be in his Silent Hill 2 stream in July of 2015. Much like his stream of The Witness, a chat member would ask him what his take was on the subject of animal rape. More specifically, which animals you shouldn't be allowed to. It's here that Adam argues consensual zoophilia is a concept that exists.
Jesus Christ.
Which animals should you not be able to rape? Humans. Otherwise, I don't know. I'm not a support of animal rape. I'm a support of consensual supporter of consensual zoophilia. I don't encourage it. I'm not gonna convince someone to try it. I've never tried it. I don't intend on ever trying it. But
wow.
I recognize that people exist that will live their whole lives with an urge to do something like that. And meanwhile, while every other person on the planet gets to fulfill their eternal psychological, emotionally / physically driven urges, these other people on the planet that are attracted to the wrong thing somehow aren't able to do that.
I have to stress that this is a framework for trying to create a consensual form of pedophilia, and I cannot let go of how disgusting that is. This framework tries to create... It's the Lolita defense. It's the Hubert Humbert, or whatever the guy... What's the name of the guy from Lolita? The main character of Lolita? It's like Hubert Humbert or something like that, right? Where he thinks that Lolita is like able to is like into him and stuff. It's that defense. He's like, the main character is delusional and wrong, and like this is delusional and wrong. It's trying to create a framework where, well, I guess other people feel, you know, like they have these urges, they can't act on them because they're wrong. Yes, because those urges are criminal. Those urges are going to hurt people. Those urges are bad. Auntie, is the book any good for Lolita? I have not read it. I probably won't read it because it's not like something I feel comfortable reading. It's really harsh. It's a really harsh read because it is a book that is told mostly in the perspective of a pedophile. Like, Lolita is, I know people who have read Lolita. For me, it's just a book that, like, I can't get into because I'm so true crime brained. I've seen other stuff. right? Like I've seen other things that do the same deal, and I don't want to do it through the scope of Lolita. But from what I understand, it's a very, very good, very disturbing and hard to read book, because like I said, the entirety of the book is written from the perspective of the pedophile main character. Like, bear that in mind. There are sections where it is not his perspective, but most of the book is him, and he is consistently sexualizing a child throughout the book. It's super fucked.
Despite not harming animals in any way that they wouldn't be harmed through any other non-sexual activity, you know?
And from here, he would build an argument in support of it.
This is such a libertarian-ass take, too. It's like, oh, well, you know, if you can cook a steak, you can fuck the cow. No. No, you can't. That's not the same thing. And if you don't see how that's not the same thing, I don't know how to help you. If you're so Reddit-brained, it's like, well, logically, no, I can't help you, dog. I can't save you from yourself if you are that deep into the Reddit hive mind. What did you have to come back into? Hell. I've heard it a few times and aware of what it's about, and I believe it's a piece of classic literature, but I don't know if I've ever heard anyone give an opinion on it. Felt like asking, 1,000%. It's an intense book. By the way, the book doesn't, like, glorify the main character. It expressly calls him a monster. Multiple times. When it comes to other characters' perspectives. And it's like what Harold said. If you like profiling a criminal mind, it's extremely useful for that.
This argument primarily consisting of the 3 pillars we went over earlier. First, he argues that animals are capable of demonstrating consent to humans.
They're not.
And that it's very simple for humans to interpret.
To suggest that there's no such thing as consensual human/animal sex is to be the most naive person on the fucking planet. Dogs try to hump your fucking leg.
That's
all the evidence I need.
That's not what that is. That's not why they do that.
I don't have to have sex with an animal to know that animals don't have the same type.
Show that you know nothing about animal behavior without saying you know nothing about animal behavior. That's not why dogs do that. Dogs do not hump something because they want sexual gratification. They hump something either because they're stressed, because they're trying to assert dominance over something, or because they have some form of... Wait, please ignore every critic who calls it a transcendent meditation on the postmodern and modern ages or whatever. 1,000%.
Of reservations that human beings do when it comes to sex. If it feels good, they're probably okay with it. If they try to bite you or run away, that's probably a sign that they're not okay with it. So the argument that, oh, you can't tell if it's consenting or not, even though it's clearly enjoying itself. Okay. Such bullshit.
I hate how smug he is about this,
he makes the legal argument that laws targeting zoophilia...
I hate how smug he is about this, because I hate when anybody's, like, smugly super fucking wrong. Just goddamn.
...are inherently discriminatory. He argues that animal abuse laws already exist to prosecute any actual harm. Therefore, bestiality laws only serve to punish people who aren't harming animals, as he puts it.
Zoophilia laws, I'll say this again, I went on this same rant in like 20 other videos. Zoophilia laws are laws that exist that only affect people that are consensually having sex with animals without abusing them. Animal abuse laws already exist.
No, they don't! That's not how that works! Oh my god! Why are you... You know what? How about... this is one prejudice I do have. I am prejudiced against people who want to fuck animals. I have a prejudice. Everyone, I'm sorry. I have a prejudice. I am prejudiced against people who want to fuck animals. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I apologize. I am prejudiced against them. I don't believe they're good people. I won't hear them out. I think that's bad. They're bad. They're bad. That's a bad person. They're bad. Law exists because society finds disturbing as an overwhelming majority? Yes. Oh, he'd argue that that's not a good reason to have laws, by the way. They went over a bit of that, like the video this is from Largo. How Adam argues that a law existing purely to punish somebody for being disgusting is objectively like a bad law and shouldn't exist, which, no, that's not how that works. That's how all laws are based, to a degree. We agree that a thing is bad, and we are disgusted by the harm that it causes, not just by the idea that we are disgusted. There are certain laws that exist based off of those grounds, and those are bad laws. We have removed those for a reason. Zoophilia is not one of those. You are actively, like, harming an animal. That's what you're doing. And he said, like, yo, you know, you can actually not see, you can't see how it harms the animal. No, it doesn't harm it at all. It does. It does. There is no consensual function there. It is, like, his argument attempts to anthropomorphize every animal interaction with a human while simultaneously demanding to accept a, as a standard, a hypothetical scenario he's redditing into existence. It's just lazy bullshit, like debate bro nonsense.
If somebody had sex with an animal and the courts determined that the animal was abused by somebody having sex with that animal, then they would already go to jail over animal abuse laws. Laws that exist against bestiality or zoophilia literally only affect people who were not abusing the animal.
That's not...
So if somebody sucks a dog's dick, or if somebody, like, bends over and a dog starts fucking their butt and they get caught, like, even if they just didn't move or whatever, even if they just, like, lubed up and let the dog do what it wanted to do or something, and they got caught, and the dog clearly wasn't abused, and everybody in the courtroom determined that there was no abuse taking place, they would go to jail. That's what those laws are for. That's what those laws are for, and it's disgusting to see that people are openly willing to...
This is a grown man!
Send people...
This is a grown man! This is a grown man! There's a grown man who thinks like this! It's a grown man!
Go to jail for literally victimless crimes.
And finally, he defends his position by accusing society of a deep-seated hypocrisy. He argues that eating meat and the agricultural practices of husbandry and artificial insemination are far worse than the consensual zoophilia he's defending.
I don't think people should get married to animals, obviously. Marriage is a very complicated thing, but I understand that some people would immediately make that argument, like, oh, you want people to get married to animals? Nope. I just want people to have the same freedoms as other people. If you're allowed to put a metal electrocuting rod up a pig's asshole to castrate it, if you're allowed to glove up your hand and shove it up a cow's asshole and artificially inseminate it with another cow's semen, literally forcing a pregnancy on that cow, raping the cow and forcing it to get pregnant by another cow that it did not have sex with, then if you stick your dick in a cow, why should you fucking go to jail? That doesn't make any fucking sense.
If he truly doesn't understand this, then he shouldn't be talking about it. Like, it's not just me, right? Like, if you truly do not understand this, you shouldn't be giving your opinion on it. If you're this bewildered, if you're this ignorant about reality.
Anyway, let's just slaughter animals and eat them. It's okay because I do it. But I need to feed myself with meat. There's no vegetarian options available.
This clip presents us with a stance similar to his earlier takes on Lolly. The argumentation between the two things is almost identical. A belief in consensual engagement, combined with a legal argument that any law against it is hypocritical as long as there's no victim. This 2015 rant of Adams is a good stepping stone to see the evolution of his ideology. These aren't just a constant stream of badly worded takes he's giving here. It's a complete framework of his ethics when it comes to zoophilia. This can be gathered near the end of his rant, which gives us not only a confirmation that these are his beliefs, but a piece of context that will come up later a few times.
Where am I going? I went on a huge rant. Anyway, if you can't tell, I had a giant beer. I had a giant beer and I haven't eaten that much today. I'm a little tipsy, but I stand by these statements. I don't. If I'm crucified for these statements, then 20 years from now, people will look back at this and be like, wow, I can't believe all these people were that stupid to crucify him for those statements. I believe that by making these statements that I am on the right side of history.
You are
That's all I'm
not.
saying.
You are not on the right
not
side
only
of
does
history.
Adam believe that these statements put
Dear
him on the
God.
right side of history,
I swear. Sometimes there's a person in the world and you have a hard time believing that they're a real person. This is one of those times. Like, how is this not a bit? How is this not
but
a
he
bit?
also mentions that he's inebriated in the same breath. He admits to being
This
intoxicated,
isn't the right side of anything.
but makes sure to
In the
confirm
future,
that his viewers
people are going
know
to be
these
sad
are
because this
his
wonderful creature
genuine
was shot
core
into the sun.
beliefs.
Oh no!
Beliefs that would follow him
Oh
through
yeah,
the
no,
coming
he's
years.
like super pretentious. Like, aside from everything else here, okay? Aside from everything else, alright? Let's just put all that aside. Adam is, like, exhaustingly pretentious. Oh, wait, you're talking about me? Why am I gonna get shot into the sun? Oh, because of how I want to get buried? That's different. Once I get shot into the sun, I'll be fine. And in the future, everybody's gonna be really sad about me being dead, but I'll be in the sun. I'll be in the sun. It won't matter. Yeah, no, I was confused. I thought you meant doing it while I was alive. No, once I kick the bucket, launch my corpse into the sun, baby, I'll be chilling up there. Big chilling. Bing chilling in the sun. I will be bing chilling in the sun. It'll be cool as hell. Alright? You'll look up and it'll be like, damn, it's a really nice day out. And I'll be looking down from the sun like, yeah, it is. What's up? How you doing? I'll be shining down comforting rays. Am I thinking strong thighs? Yeah, but they'll live up there in the sun. They'll live up there in the sun. But yeah, putting all the zoophilia from Adam aside, he is an insufferably pretentious dipshit who spends most of his time sucking his own dick on every opinion he has. Now granted, some of his reviews have been funny, and some of his takes have been correct, but the longer he went on, the worse it got. Casshole son, won't you come and wash away the rain? Casshole son, won't you come? Won't you come? Wait, zoophilia? That's what Adam's defending.
At least 10 of the 20 years until his predicted
Oh, my
crucifixion.
voice is
He's
so
still
gone.
got another
It's so
decade to go
gone.
for
This
that.
is awesome.
The very next day, in the comment section of that Silent Hill 2 video, a viewer decided to question Adam on a certain part of his 18-minute monologue.
Anyway, I totally welcome a conversation about this and like the comment section and all that. Like, I'm not the type of person that is held to my beliefs so permanently that I can't have my mind changed.
He would prove later that that is not true. By the way, since I'm sick and I'm not above this, does anybody want to send me like $400 just for the hell of it? There's no real reason. I would just like money. I'm kidding. Mwah. I totally welcome a conversation. No, I don't want to have that
And
conversation.
please understand the flaws in trying to compare this with pedophilia, because I mean, literally, pedophilia is a completely other different issue, and every time I see zoophilia argued on any forum anywhere, there's always somebody that jumps in and is like, but what if a child really enjoyed it? I'm like, that's not the same argument. It's not the same argument because we have evidence to suggest that children are psychologically affected by this.
We have that
right?
for animals,
We
too.
give a shit about people being psychologically affected by this.
Yeah, animals
If we
are
gave a shit about
psychologically
animals
affected,
being
too.
psychologically affected, even though, A, there's no evidence to suggest that
Yes,
they
there
would be
is.
negatively psychologically affected by consensual, enjoyable sex. Even if there were, you don't put people in jail for leaving a dog in a kennel when it doesn't want to be in a kennel. You don't put people in jail for feeding an animal the same food over and over again its entire life. You don't put people in jail for leaving a dog in your back porch with nowhere to go to the bathroom.
Yes, all of these things are actually jailable offenses when it's proven to have hurt the animal. Those are a thing. You can go to jail for that. You can go to jail for that. Like, that's a jailable offense.
Leave it there for like 8 hours while you're gone to work, come back, and once you see that it pissed itself because it had nowhere to go, then you rub their fucking nose in their piss. You don't put people in jail for that, so you shouldn't put people in jail for sucking a dog's dick. Seriously, the world is fucked up.
A commenter would challenge him on the obvious slippery slope of his argument, writing, "This made me also curious what you mean by there's
Adam crying in the corner because people can't suck dog dick. Just weeping in the corner uncontrollably. Why won't they allow people to suck the dog dick? Why? Oh no, why? Where are we? Why are we here? Why? Why are you like this? I'm not allowed to blow a dog. This is messed up, man. The world is so messed up. Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez. Oh, no, man. Oh, jeez. Oh, it's so dark. Oh, it's so dark. Oh, no, it's so dark. Oh. This is the stupidest fucking thing. I swear to God. What gets me about it the most, probably, is, like, how he wants to feel so much like he's some kind of enlightened centrist about this. But what are we doing? Just make full debate bro deception? No!
There's no evidence of psychological effect.
Cass, is it just me, or does he sound kind of like Charlie Kirk? Like, he's debate braining so hard he's starting to sound like him? Oh, I think so.
Effects in relation to animals. Do you mean in relation to consensual animals or abused? I was just wondering why you don't think a case-by-case basis can't also be applied to children, since there are ones where children could be consenting by their own will. Adam's response to this, in writing and now presumably sober, is to clarify his stance by separating the two as he did on stream, writing, "Children don't have a concept of sex unless you teach it to them. The evidence supports that sexual acts on children negatively impact them psychologically through their lives. Animals just want to do what feels good to them. There is no evidence to support that animals are negatively impacted through consensual, non-abusive sexual intercourse. Anyone who claims that you can't tell when an animal's enjoying something or not is doing some serious mental gymnastics
Why? Why are you like this, man?
to convince themselves of that claim. So it should be noted that the presence or absence of alcohol doesn't really seem to alter Adam's core beliefs. Do note this, as it will come up in the future. 8 months after the Silent Hill 2 monologue, the topic would surface again during a Mass Effect 2 stream. Once more, Adam launches into a detailed defense of his framework, proving that his 18-minute rant in 2015 wasn't a one-off. By talking about it here for
Animals are dumber than a young. Pedophilia being wrong and zoophilia being wrong are the same fucking thing. Yeah, exactly. The science of arguments are both shit and trash. They are.
upwards of 40 minutes.
Rope away.
Vegans are pretty much the only people that are actually at liberty to say that having sex with animals is wrong. Everybody else.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh my god.
Else is a fucking hypocrite.
Not only are his arguments just reheated and repackaged here, but he branches out even further with them. What you just heard was a reiteration of the societal hypocrisy pillar, Adam claiming that only vegans can oppose the fucking of animals. He even decides to create another false equivalence by stating that animals didn't choose to be domesticated, so why is owning animals as pets socially acceptable, but having sex with them isn't?
It's like, oh, an animal can't consent to anything. Okay, they didn't consent to being domesticated. They didn't consent to being caged. You know, it's not considered animal abuse to like lock your dog up in the back porch in a...
When someone talks like this, it is a sign that you need to get them out of your home.
A 5 foot by 5 foot area, and then like go to work and leave it completely neglected the entire day for 10 hours, come back, notice that it pissed on the floor, and then get pissed off at the dog that had nowhere to piss in the first place, rub its nose and piss.
Okay, at this point I have to ask, is this a reference to something? While researching for this video, I couldn't figure out if this was a reference to any real-life case. Never mind the fact that most would consider you a shitty pet owner for doing that.
Yeah.
But is this a reference to something? Or has this just been his go-to, oddly specific example for this kind of argument? Anyway, moving on to the pillar of legality, Adam reiterates his take that animal abuse laws already exist to punish harm. making bestiality laws redundant, as if that's the only type of harm they combat.
If everybody hunted their own food, hunter-gather style, should it be okay to have sex with animals still? Yeah. The implication that...
We have used half our fuel.
I believe that
This is why Adam would
should
get
not be abused.
This is why you cannot invite Adam to the party.
Which is why we have animal abuse laws, right?
Adam is not allowed to come to any parties.
Saying that you cannot abuse an animal. The only reason that specific laws that ban zoophilia and bestiality exist is to criminalize the people who were not abusing those animals. So,
hello, Sir Bear, how you be?
Before zoophilia laws,
we're in hell.
If a state has animal abuse laws but not zoophilia bestiality laws, that means that if they have sex with an animal and it is determined that they were abusing the animal,
yeah, Adam is also not allowed to have any animals.
Or not.
Period.
You know,
Full stop.
if they raped the animal, if they forced the animal and the animal didn't like it, then they would determine that the animal was being abused. The reason why zoophilia and bestiality laws exist is because people would be in court over
putting works in vegan in portfolios. Nice. I really need to make a VGen thing, and I need to finish it up. I'm so bad at that. I'm so bad at getting VGen put together. I want to put more stuff on it, but I am dog water at getting it together. I really should. In a little bit, we'll cap off. Like, after a certain section of this, we'll cap off. We got 9 puppies under the house right now, and an adorable, lavish, shepherdish lesbian couple taking care of them with us. So be extra parentally violent towards his asshole. Oh, 1,000%. What is VGen? VGen is an art commissioning platform. And I have an account for it, I'm just bad at putting it all together. I take my time putting all my works up for the commission thing. I really need to do that. Have you seen FD Signifier's video on Charlie Kirk? Only a little bit of it, not a lot of it. I do want to watch all of it.
having sex with an animal, and no one would be able to determine whether or not the animal was actually abused. Which I don't think you should go to jail if there's no evidence whatsoever that the animal was being abused. Because if the animal wasn't abused, then you're not really helping anybody. You're just putting somebody in jail because you don't like them, because you think that what they're doing is gross and you don't understand them. You know?
No.
You're being a fucking bigot.
You're being a bigot if you don't support the horse fucker,
Adam
according
moves
to
on
Adam.
to the pillar of animal consent.
My God.
Stating that he believes animals should be able to consent to humans, given that there are ways for deaf or mute humans to consent. He then leads into an argument where he says that if you think animals are completely incapable of consenting to sex, then petting an animal must also be considered non-consensual or abusive, which supposedly contradicts how pet owners interpret their pets' enjoyment.
Oh yeah. So I'll explain the no consent thing, right? Because you're saying that animals can't give consent, right? So if let's say animals can't give consent, which I would argue that they can, you can give non-verbal consent even as a human being. You can have 2 human beings that speak completely different languages and give cues to each other in order to have consensual sexual intercourse. You can have sex with a deaf and mute person and still...
I'm sorry, no, okay. Trying to compare people with separate languages or people who are, like, deaf and mute to animals as a form of, like, constructing consent is so fucking gross on every level, because, no, that's not how that works. At all. In any way. There is no consensual way for there is no animal consent. Animal cannot consent to sex with human. It's bad. Don't do that. Don't do that. And when it comes to deaf people or blind people or mute people, that is a different scenario. They have the cognizance of required for consent. Especially even with somebody who speaks different languages. You could be at a club and meet somebody who doesn't speak the same language as you, and the 2 of you could vibe really hard. And then, at that point, while you're vibing, you could decide to fuck, because there are non-verbal cues that humans give each other based off of physical contact, emotional stuff, blah, blah, like how people react to each other, that could tell you, oh, we're gonna fuck. And that's fine. That is a normal thing. People can do that. However, animals can't do that shit. Animals don't have that kind of thing. Animals have very simple baseline ideas about if they do or don't like something. They'll bite you, they'll run away from you, they'll do these kinds of things if they don't like something. And this is the important part, They do not have the complex knowledge required to give informed consent to a human being. That means that the human being is violating the animal's ability to give consent in all cases. Because if the animal doesn't have the ability to be cognizantly aware of what's being done to them, they cannot cognitively understand that they are being assaulted. They just know something bad is happening. It's wrong. It hurts them. That's how that goes. Until ableists suggest that somebody who is partially disabled cannot consent to sex in the same way an animal cannot. Like, it's insane to me. It's literally dehumanizing. I know. I know. And, like, with the animal thing, animals don't consent because they don't have the cognitive ability to consent to those complex ideals. They can consent to, like, scratch on head or give attention or hold an animal because those are very simplistic things that they understand. They like my cat jumps in my lap sometimes, right? And she sits there and purrs and curls up because she likes feeling warm, right? She enjoys warm. She knows that I am mom and I will hold her and pet her and I will keep her warm. And I understand she enjoys that because she purrs and because she goes out of her way to crawl into my lap all the goddamn time, even when I'm in the middle of doing something. And that's very normal, right? There is no way a cat can in any way consent to somebody trying to have sex with them because that's not a thing a cat can even comprehend a human doing to them. This is insane. It's insane. Yeah, his argument is that if they don't bite him or kick him or negatively respond, it's consent to him.
Like, just because you can't verbally communicate?
Yeah, your cat loves pets but does not like being picked up. She is very demonstrative of the difference. What he is not understanding is the fundamental difference between consent of a complicated matter like sex and consent to a very simplistic thing like an animal sitting next to you or petting an animal on the head or on the belly. That's different. Animals react to that differently because those are very baseline social ideas to an animal.
You can still give consent. But, I mean, in terms of an actual animal, you cannot... It is extremely naive and ignorant to suggest that you cannot tell whether or not an animal likes something. So... if you're saying that there's literally no instance that an animal can give consent, then what you're also saying is when you rub a dog's belly and you're touching their nipples, that is almost rape. You're saying that there's no way you can tell if a dog likes something. You're saying that by petting a dog, if a dog comes up to you and really like wants to be pet, if a cat like goes around your leg and very clearly wants attention, if you're saying animals can't give consent, then you're also saying that when you pet an animal that is clearly enjoying it, that they very well could be screaming in pain internally and just are so stupid that they don't try to run away or don't try to give any signals that they don't want something.
Hey, fun fact, that can actually be a thing that humans get wrong about animals. Also, yeah, Adam is a fucking idiot. Hey, did you know that a dog wagging its tail doesn't always mean that it's happy? Like, sometimes a dog wagging its tail means that it's stressed. That's a thing. When a cat's tail is wagging back and forth, they're not happy. That's a sign of them being distressed. Sometimes it's a sign of contentment, though. It depends on the context. And you need to let the cat decide how that's going to go by, like, not holding them in one spot or something. It's difficult to understand them sometimes because they don't communicate the same way, but they do communicate ideals. And as I said before, certain things are entirely off the table. He's libertarian brain. He's gone full edgelord. This makes take this man's microphone away. He's gonna hurt someone with his dumb shit opinions. I know.
He even recycles the same point of dogs humping things, anthropomorphizing the action and portraying that behavior as if it's for sexual gratification.
Animals, you're not gonna have a sexual contact with an animal, and the animal's just gonna be like rethinking it in its head over the next year and just constantly regretting it, like, oh, I was so awkward when I did this, or oh, was this the right person for me, or why did this happen? That's a human thing, you know? That doesn't happen with animals. They'll hump your leg. We'll just start.
Okay, first off, we're just gonna put the hump your leg thing on a bar for a minute, and I'm gonna highlight something because I'm about to raid out in a little bit. I'm gonna raid out. My throat really hurts. We'll cover more of this tomorrow, but yeah, it is a human thing to have those regrets and those doubts because human sexuality is extremely complicated. So, what does that tell you about the difference? Human sexuality is very complicated. There are levels of emotional regret, of dominance, of submission, of give and take. There's a power dynamic involved. All of these things are very complicated. Animals don't understand any of that shit. At all. And it will fuck them up if you try to expose them to that shit. Because it's abusing them. He wants his leg humped and he doesn't want anyone who can file charges against him. Yeah, it's insane. Ugh, what a gross man. What a gross man. Hold on, let me get. We're gonna raid out. We're raiding out. We're raiding out, everybody. My throat hurt real bad. My voice is almost gone. I will stream tomorrow, though. I will not be stopped. I will not be stopped. I will continue stream. I'll do it. I'll do it. You can't stop me. Oh, if anything, a dog humping your leg shows how little cognizance of what's going on. It doesn't know valid part. Yeah, exactly. I will enjoy the memes. Gestures, you'll get curtain calls. My God, it's historic, meteoric. Alas, my poor Yorick, he held his head high through it all. If you're ever in the dumps to feel stuck in a rut, you simply have another fun of watching them go up. If your budget is bust, you gotta trust the funds are gonna erupt. You gotta look for making numbers go up. Here we go. Who we raiding? You guys are raiding into Lilycat. I'm sending you all over to Lilycat. I will see you all tomorrow. Same cast time, same cast channel. Maybe a little bit earlier. Maybe my voice will be better tomorrow. I don't know. Either way, I love you guys, and I will see you soon. Keep it sleazy. Take it easy. I'll be in your dreams whether you want me to be or not. And I also want you to remember something. If no one's told you today, I love you. You're special, and I'm proud of you. You're doing a good job. Keep it up. I'll see you all a little later. Adios for tonight, everybody. Mwah!